Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Good afternoon. I would ask my colleagues to start making your way to the dais. We have a very, very, very extensive agenda today, and we want to get out of here before 6 o'clock. So I'm going to ask my colleagues that serve with me to start making your way to the dais. Let's get a quorum so we can get started. Ladies and gentlemen, we'll be starting momentarily. Thank you so much. As soon as we get a quorum.
We'll be around.
Okay, now you got two items on there. You got
Come on here, buddy. You better sit down. I need one more. Quorum here, buddy.
no, but I don't know. Thank you for doing that.
No.
That's what I thought, but eventually, okay. On the addendum, so I don't. I thought it was on the agenda. Yeah.
Palmetto Story LLC for work complete.
So we're okay now. So that's what I had.
Oh,
It's
ma'am.
the same thing.
Yep.
Hold it down, Clark.
Good?
Yes, we're good. Thank you.
Thank you.
All right. Commissioner Clark.
He is such a little social butterfly. One, two, three, four, five, six, seven.
You ready to go? You ready to go?
Commercial. I like that.
All right.
Hey.
I'm waiting on them. Waiting on into the huddle.
Thank you.
All right, Madam Clerk.
How many we got? 1, 2, 3, 4.
The time is now 2:06.
6 people. We're missing it. 1, 2, missing 4.
We got that's quorum.
We got 7? Where?
Yeah, we're quorum.
4, 5, 6, 7.
Madam Clerk, I call this meeting to order. It is now 2:06 p.m. We're ready to do the people's business. The floor is yours, Madam Clerk.
Yes, sir. At this time, we will have our invocation shared with us today by Pastor Bob Garrett, Elder Emeritus of the Alleluia community, after which we would like everyone to please stand for our Pledge of Allegiance. Thank you.
Mr. Mayor and Commissioners, it's an honor to be with you, of course. I want you to know that you have a minimum of 150 people praying for you right now, and they're going to be praying throughout the day for you today. So the traditional view is that King Solomon wrote these words. I'm going to read in just a second. If they're true, the goal of the commission meeting would really to be more about applying godly wisdom and discernment than it would be about settling issues and making good decisions, although those are really important. The others are better. Verse 1 of Ecclesiastes 3 says, "For everything there is a season and a time for every matter under heaven." Then Solomon says 14 different contrasts that find just about any imaginable situation. And then 3:14 says, "I perceive that whatever God does endures forever. Nothing can be added to it, nor anything taken from it. God has done it, so the people will revere him." So let's pray. Heavenly Father, we come before you today seeking your divine wisdom and discernment for this commission meeting. Your word in Ecclesiastes 3 reminds us, for everything there is a season and a time for every matter under heaven. You alone know the appointed time for each decision, action, and purpose. We humbly ask for your guidance for the Augusta Commission through your Holy Spirit to discern your will in all that is discussed and decided today. Grant us all hearts that revere you, as Ecclesiastes 3:14 declares, knowing that whatever you do endures forever. Help our commissioners to approach each issue with humility by trusting in your eternal plan more than their own understanding. May each one know when to speak and when to remain silent, when to build and when to tear down, when to plant and when to harvest, by aligning their decisions with your perfect timing. Fill this meeting with your peace, unity, and clarity. Father, let your Spirit lead the Augusta Commission to decisions that honor you and reflect your love and justice for Augusta and for Richmond County. May everyone surrender their agenda to you, trusting that you are sovereign over every season of this work. In Jesus' holy name we pray. Amen.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Brother Bob, would you please stand? It is just a great pleasure to see you today and have you here with us. We've known each other for many years together. Thank you for sharing those promises from God himself to us. Thank you. And by these presents be it known that Pastor Bob Garrett, Elder Emeritus of the Alleluia community, is our chaplain of the day. May your spiritual guidance and civic leadership serve as an example for all citizens of Augusta. Given my hand this 22nd day of July, 2025, Garnett L. Johnson, Mayor. From our heart, thank you.
We all fall for her.
Wow, that was good. That was good. That was good.
Mr. Garrett,
Yeah.
I'm going to let you get your photo first.
All right, okay.
Thank you for that prayer, sir. Thank you for the many prayers that you send often throughout this community. On behalf of this city, on behalf of this commission, we thank you, okay? Chair, I want to recognize Commissioner Don Clark. He's asked for a point of personal privilege.
Bob Garrett, thank you for continuing to lead your community. Those that don't know, Bob Garrett is the elder of the Alleluia community. So we greatly appreciate you all, greatly appreciate all the thoughts, prayers, and everything that your community does for itself and for others. So thank you greatly for that. And I appreciate the young man in the back for reminding me of what a Polaroid camera looks like. I haven't seen one of those in some time, so I appreciate that flashback.
Thank you, Commissioner Clark. Madam Clerk, let's continue.
Yes, sir. Call your attention to the presentation portion of our agenda. Item A, the Augusta Commission offer its congratulations to our 2025 June Years of Service 25 to 50 year recipients.
Good afternoon, Mayor, Commission, and citizens of Augusta. It gives me great pleasure to recognize our June Years of Service recipients. For the month of June 2025, we had 31 employees celebrate 5 to 50 years of service. This afternoon, we'd like to recognize our 25 to 50 years of service. For the month of June, the total years of service and institutional knowledge being celebrated today is 435 years. That's right. So when I call your name, please come forward. Lysandra Corley, Community Development, 25 years. Tracy Morgan, Tax Commissioner, 25 years. Michael Lewis, Sheriff's Office, 25 years. Albertha Osborne, Juvenile Courts, 30 years. Arthur Jacobs, Public Works, 45 years. Again, congratulations to all of our years of service recipients.
nice cushy answer.
Same chair. Ladies and gentlemen, another round of applause for those year service award winners. That we deliver if it were not for our teammates. So thanks to all. Madam Clerk, we got to move around a little bit before I do that. I'm going to take a point of personal privilege to thank first Pecan Barn and then Moses Todd. This month, the month of July, is National Blueberry Month. Do you realize that Georgia is the #3 state in producing blueberries? So please go out. I would hope that you would go to the Pecan Barn that's outside of Blythe and buy some blueberries. Make some blueberry cobbler, some blueberry muffins, or some blueberry something. Help celebrate Georgia's #3 crop. Thank you so much, Mr. Todd, for your contributions to this governing body.
Thank you.
Madam Clerk, I think we need to move around just a little bit because we have some folks that are here. So let's take a look at the agenda and see if we can get Coliseum Authority, and then we're going to address another very important matter regarding former Commissioner Moses Todd. Does that mean we need to go through our consent agenda first and take care of those items to address those few items that
You
are on
could
the
do
agenda?
those now and then take up our consent. We have addendum items as well,
Right.
so they can very well be considered for the consent. So,
You got it. So let's move down to item number 29.
yes, sir.
Because we have Chairman Johnson here.
Yes, sir.
All right, thank you.
29 is Mr. Cedric Johnson, Chairman of the Augusta Coliseum Authority, regarding the naming of the new arena.
Mr. Mayor and Commission, thank you so much for giving me the opportunity to come this afternoon.
Yes, sir.
I'm thankful to be here because there are some inaccuracies that were stated a couple of weeks ago, and want to try to clear those up and then answer any questions that any of you might have. One of the things that was said was that there was no minority participation at the Bell Auditorium when we did that $19 million project, and that was totally inaccurate. We hired Herman Russell Company to be our managing partner, and their designee was H.B. Brantley. But H.B. Brantley is African American just like I am, but not saying just that, but we also had other providers and contractors that participated in that project. And so when we ended up and looked back at all the information, there was over 32% minority participation and 90% local participation on that project. So we're very proud of that. There was some other information that was not exactly correct either. It was also said that the ballot or the referendum passed because we used James Brown's name on the ballot and on renderings. In 2021, we did use renderings with Mr. Brown's name on them, and we did talk about the new James Brown Arena. But between 21 and 23, it was brought to our attention that the naming rights had been sold. And so at that time, we started using the new Augusta Arena. We asked our attorney to check to see where we stood with that, and we were told that we could not use his name. So from 21 up to 23, 23 is when we start using the new Augusta Arena. And I actually have, if any of you want to see it, the ballots from 2021 says James Brown Arena. 2022 says the new Coliseum. In the letter that the mayor wrote, mentioned SPLOS, that maybe we shouldn't have a need to look at naming rights. But SPLOS funds can only be used for construction and furniture and fixtures and those type things. So we can't use those SPLOS dollars for payments of utilities or anything like that. So that's the only thing that we can use those for. You know, I guess moving forward, we want to come back to you probably on a more regular basis than we have. We want to let you know what's going on. Our goal has been to maintain integrity and to do what's right for the citizens of Augusta, Richmond County. And the thing has come up about naming rights. And naming rights are important. If you find out, most new arenas that come into play use naming rights. Now, again, some misinformation that we took James Brown's name down. His name was never on the arena. Misinformation is that we voted not to put his name on the arena. That's not the case. We want to, as an authority, honor James Brown in every way that we can honor him. Now, during the period of naming rights, we also talked about hockey. And I'll be through, Mr. Mayor. I want to mention this one last thing. We talked about two things. We talked about hockey and naming rights. Being very honest with you, I was totally opposed to hockey. But what I did say was that if the people that we hired, the professionals, told us it would be a benefit to the taxpayers and citizens of Augusta to have hockey, then we'd have hockey. So we signed to have hockey. Same thing with naming rights. They said most of the arenas you have to help supplement income and to make it more affordable, and the fact that we're not having to come back to the taxpayers and ask for more money, they say naming rights would be an option to do that. And that's why we decided on naming rights. And really, you know, I want to thank y'all for having the opportunity. I also want to thank my Coliseum Authority members, some of them who are here, for spending their time and effort to work on this $250 million project to make the citizens of Augusta, Richmond County proud.
Chairman Johnson, really appreciate you coming and addressing the issues that were brought forth to the commission and the concerns, and I appreciate you you explaining those. I also want to thank you and the Coliseum Authority because as you drive by the new, I'm going to call it the James Brown Arena, you see progress. You guys have construction going. It seems to be a lot of activity, and the residents of not only Augusta but this region are truly excited about opening that facility back to the public and having concerts and lifestyle events that truly represent this area. So I have some colleagues that are in the queue. If you just be patient, we're going to go through a few colleagues. First I see is Commissioner Don Clark from the 5th. Commissioner Clark, you have the floor.
Hey, Mr. Johnson, how you doing?
Pretty good. How you doing, sir?
Thank you for coming. I know you all have a Arena Authority meeting at 3 p.m. to further discuss. So just so that we're clear, I'm not born and raised in Augusta. No issue about that piece of it. So from a historical context piece, if you could kind of enlighten me, you had made some statements stating that the arena has never been named the James Brown Arena?
No. What I said was there has never been a name on the arena saying James Brown Arena. Now, an authority before us did name it, and there was a plaque that was on the steps, but as far as having the name on the arena, that never happened.
Okay, so what was the name, what's been the name historically of the arena?
When you go back before they named it, I think it was the Coliseum. Civic Center was the Civic Center.
Okay, so it's the Civic Center.
Was the Civic Center.
Yeah, and I think, so of course this situation resonated through the community pretty heavily. James Brown is a very significant figure, heartfelt sentiment, and I'm sure you all heard that sentiment loud and clear from the community with what they feel about James Brown, what they feel about honoring his legacy, but more importantly about ensuring that there's some transparency in the process. So I appreciate you clarifying that you all are definitely going to make sure that you include the commission in this process going forward. It was a great deal that we did not know and still don't know with this process. But I want to make sure that you can appropriately take full opportunity that you have because there's a lot of folks that are interested in this topic. A lot of folks that have very deep passions tied to this topic. So I know you're saying you're looking for naming rights for, is it just for the arena or is it for the entire entertainment complex? Because I think there's kind of differentiation between the two, right?
Yeah, there is a differentiation between the two. And Commissioner Clark, we're looking at all of that. We're about 2.5 years out before we have a completed arena. So we're looking at a different array of things. There are possibilities, and I want to say possibilities because I don't want anybody to leave here saying that I said that it's going to be this.
Sure.
Say, for instance, it could be ATT Arena / James Brown.
Okay.
So it could be a number of different things. It could be the entertainment complex.
Yeah, and I just want to make sure that the community understands, because again, before you start receiving the abundance of calls that this is going to potentially yield, or we receive, because we receive them as well, as this was our decision one way or the other. So I appreciate greatly any and all effort that you all will make to keep us informed and make sure that all of us have ownership and understanding what it means to retain legacy. And in this regard, any way that we can honor such a pivotal figure as James Brown, I think it's all of our responsibility to do so.
Ms. Clark, I appreciate you saying that, but let me give you my personal history.
Sure.
The statue that's on Broad Street was a statue not paid for by the city, but by donors who decided to do that. Pat Blanchard, who was my boss at the time when I was at the bank, was the chairman of that committee. I worked with him diligently in helping secure funds. When I was chairman of the Aviation Commission decided to honor James Brown with the kiosk that we have out there that has his memorabilia in it. So my history of supporting James Brown's legacy goes back many years. And I just want you to know I will continue, along with the Coliseum Authority, to make sure that his legacy is honored.
That's great. And because it sounds like the company that does own the name and rights to James Brown has also echoed the same sentiment, that they in no way would withhold utilizing his name or likeness for the arena. So it looks like that piece of it is no longer an issue, that they're willing to work and support you all in whatever way possible to ensure that we honor him. So I think the biggest thing is just finding a way to meet all the intents. And I think you all are working to do that. But I just wanted to make sure that the public understands, because there was a lot of misconception out there. And again, for me, not having been born and raised here, it was some things I had to get read in on as well. But I want to make sure, and I think you all received the same notification that was publicly shared, that that company is not withholding the name of James Brown to be utilized in any way for the arena, the entertainment complex, or anything.
Well, and Commissioner, I did talk to Primary Wave probably mid-May, but that was after everything had hit.
Sure.
And we offered Primary Wave first right of refusal on naming rights, and they declined to do that. But they did say if we could find someone who wanted to pay for the naming rights and use James Brown's name, they would allow that to happen.
Yeah, I think that was where some more confusion, that's where we probably need some more clarity, because I think the statement I saw stated that James Brown gave his name up freely to be utilized for that, and they in no way would hold that back. So if you could clarify to the body if there's some misconception in that, because I think it's important that all of us have the same information, that all of us can relate to the community clearly, as opposed to letting it go as fragmented as it once was. So at this point, I like to see as much clarity as we can bring in this situation to really ensure that we're not intentionally or unintentionally offending or leaving out anyone or anything in this situation. But I appreciate you greatly, though, Mr. Johnson.
I appreciate you too. But let me clarify something to you with what you just mentioned. There's nothing that we've seen in writing. We've heard it. Nobody has been able to produce anything in writing. So if someone has something in writing, please get it to us.
All right.
Okay, thanks.
Thank you, Chairman Johnson. I've been informed that Mrs. Deanna Brown is here somewhere, and I see her there. So at some point we're going to bring you up. But let me just go through the colleagues in the queue and just hold just tight just a second. Chair recognizes Commissioner from the first, Commissioner Jordan Johnson.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. You beat me to the punch. I was going to call Deanna Brown up, but I wanted to ask a question because you mentioned, Mr. Johnson, that the name was never on the building. Can you clarify that for me, please? Because, I mean, I know there was a kiosk, a marquee outside that said James Brown Arena. And on the inside of the arena itself, there was in big blue letters, it said James Brown Arena on the wall area near the American flag. Are we saying that the name was never officially changed to James Brown Arena?
No, it was officially changed. I said the name was never on the outside up on the arena.
On the actual building itself?
Like you see, if you go to Mercedes-Benz, you see Mercedes-Benz on the outside. Or any other arena, usually that name is out there.
But would you agree that if the wording Mercedes-Benz wasn't on the actual building, but it was on a sign, it can still be known as the Mercedes-Benz dealership?
Oh, Mr. Commissioner Johnson, we're not arguing about the name. The name was changed by the previous.
Oh, I was just asking just to get a little clarity because you said it was never on there. Another question that I had is, I know that we were talking about the amount of the economic feasibility of having a naming to the arena. And Commissioner Clark, I think, hit it spot on about maybe perhaps naming the complex itself, both venues, the AT&T Entertainment Complex with the James Brown Arena and the Bell. I know William Bell earned it. He was a mayor of Augusta. He earned his time. I think James Brown did as well. But I'm curious to see, and you don't have to answer this on the floor now, but maybe in some type of communication with the commission, like what type of revenue are we expecting to bring in from the naming? Because I know that I know we haven't been asked to support anything financially, and I know that there's somewhat of a appetite to not ask the taxpayers to support that. But when you have 3,000 plus names on a petition to keep this as the James Brown Arena, I think that it would be helpful to at least have the conversation about how we can support that as a commission. But you don't have to act,
No, I don't have any problems in answering that today.
Okay.
I mean, I want to try to answer as much as I can.
Okay, how much are you hoping to get off of the naming?
So we're looking at anywhere from $1.2 to $1 million annually.
Okay. Okay. And my final question before I yield the floor to Deanna Brown is, given the public outcry that has come out because of this conversation, how does the Coliseum Authority plan to somewhat mitigate the conversation, navigate the conversation around what's actually happening and what's not happening? Because my phone rings, I'm still getting text messages and phone calls and things of the nature too, and I want to be able to make sure that when we have conversations with folks that we're able to give them some sense of accuracy or, just peace that we're not getting ready to change what they know to be the James Brown Arena. What kind of reassurance can the Coliseum Authority give to the community?
What piece we can give the Coliseum Authority, to the people of Augusta, Richmond County, is we're going to do everything we can to find the best way to recognize James Brown. But also, we're going to look at the best possible way to make sure that we take care of the taxpayers and the citizens of Augusta, Richmond County, so that they won't have a tax burden that we probably could have mitigated.
Mm-hmm. And when you say tax burden, is that like an additional ask of the community, or are you just asking if the commission shouldn't allocate money for it?
No, I'm not saying the commission shouldn't allocate money, but what I am saying is that we're going to do everything we can to keep from coming back having to ask you.
Okay. All right. And final question is, how many other arenas across the country that you know of are named after any popular entertainers? Are there any that we know of?
I'm sure that they are. There are also shared names. Go back. AT&T, whoever, Comcast, whoever. So that is a possibility, and that's one of the things that we are looking at. But understand, if someone agreed to pay $1.2 million, they would have the option of saying yes or no. But we are trying to encourage whomever decides to purchase the naming rights to use his name.
Okay. Well, as always, I appreciate you for always, being open and transparent with us and coming to speak to us, and we appreciate you for your hard work.
Thank you very much.
Thank you. Mr. Mayor, can I yield some of my time over to Ms. Brown?
Yes, sir, you may. Mrs. Deanna Brown Thomas. Thank you for being here today. If you will, just for the record, please state your name, address, and who you represent. Thank you.
Ow, I feel good. That's who I represent. Grace and peace. I am Dr. Deanna Brown Thomas, one of the daughters of the Godfather of Soul, Mr. James Brown. And thank you, first of all, to this body for your letter of solidarity. I did thank former Commissioner Alvin Mason. And I wish that we didn't have to be here on this subject. I wish that we were here to talk about me taking my students to the Apollo to perform. But since we are, let me say this. There is no other arena named after no other artist, no place, nowhere, no how. This is it. Augusta got it. We're the only one. My father was very humbled and thankful when he got the call. And when he was here for the unveiling himself, which was a blessing because he was able to receive those flowers in his lifetime. It wasn't done after the fact. So all of these young Black boys and girls can look up at that sign and see that, yeah, if I work hard enough, that could be me one day, which means a lot. Especially when a lot of Black African Americans' names are coming down from different places and different museums are being changed because they don't want the history. Well, the history tells the story of the city. And James Brown is certainly part of that history. My ask is that we find a way to come together, because that's what my father would want. And we give the voters what the voters voted for. They made it very clear what they wanted. And it is very important to give them what they asked for, and nothing less. The world is watching because they call me, they text me. So I hope that we could leave here with hearts that are clear, that it will be the James Brown Arena in perpetuity by ABC, CBP, whoever. And I think this body can make that happen. If historic Augusta can make places historic forever, then we can make the James Brown Arena forever. It was given to him in his lifetime. Let's not take it away from him after he's gone. God bless you, and thank you. Did y'all have any questions?
Ms. Brown, I don't see any colleagues in the queue, but we certainly appreciate your presence here today, and we would hope and pray that you and the Coliseum Authority, Chairman Johnson mentioned that there's no paperwork, or can you make sure that you guys?
Well, that could have been worked out a long time ago, over a year or so ago. I was glad to give that information when former Coliseum Authority J.R. Rouse called me for Mr. Johnson, asking me, what? And I said, look, just tell Mr. Johnson to call me. He knows my number. He used to be my banker. I will be glad to put him in touch with whoever he wants to talk to work this out. And we wouldn't have never been here at this point right now, because Primary Way was glad to talk to them and let them know whatever they need and put it on paper for whatever. But I never got the call, so that's why we're here. So that's no problem. We can make that happen.
And can you also share that with this governing body so that we're made aware of whatever paperwork or whatever rights or agreement you had prior to this commission, so that we may be made aware of it?
Sure, no problem. I will ask Primary Wave to write something up so that you all can have that. Of course, you all seen their statement that they made, I'm sure. I do think this, though. I must say that because they are the stewards of his name, image, and likeness, I think it quite not too cool to ask Primary Wave to pay to keep his name up there. I don't think that's the way to do things. I believe that it's been given to the Coliseum Authority freely from my father. Use it as a marketing tool and make some money for yourselves. Meaning that for the Coliseum Authority. You have the right to do that.
Ms. Brown,
Use it.
Thank you so kindly. We appreciate all that you do for the community.
Thank you.
Chairman Johnson, all we would ask is that you update this body as you have either conversations with Ms. Brown or conversations among yourself as to what the next steps are so we can make sure we keep this resolved, as you mentioned, before it gets to us, and that would be greatly appreciated. All right? Thank you guys so much. All right, ladies and gentlemen, we're continuing to move around. We have another matter that we're going to take up. It's the matter of the replacement for former Commissioner Alvin Mason. Madam Clerk, I think that's item 35 and 42. I'm going to ask the Commissioner from the 9th if we can companion her item to discuss along with item 42. Is that okay with you, Madam, from the 9th? Okay. All right, Madam Clerk, item 35 and 42 with the approval from Commissioner Scott can be companion items. If you will, read those into the record, please.
Item 35 is a motion to approve to begin the process of accepting nominations to fill the Augusta Commission District 4 vacancy. Item 42, discuss temporary appointment District 4 Commission requested by Commissioner Francine Scott. Item 35 was requested by Commissioner Don Clark.
Thank you, Madam Clerk. And I want the general public to know that we have a member of the commission that has joined this meeting by telephone.
Just ask.
And that is Commissioner Brandon Garrett. So he is.
Ask him if he's on.
Commissioner Garrett.
Don't forget 36. Yes,
I'm here. You are here.
Number 36.
Okay. You know what, Madam Clerk? We're going to companion another item. Item number 36.
36.
Yep.
Okay. And item 36, are you going to do that one first,
We're going to do
sir?
that one first.
Yeah.
Yes.
Item 36, request the Board of Election Director Travis Doss to clarify the process the Augusta Richmond County Commission follows to fill a commission vacancy.
Thank you so much. Director Doss, are you in the chambers? I don't see him. Attorney Plunkett.
Mr. Mayor, I can give a little bit of background of what happens in terms of this. Basically, the body can vote today to appoint an interim person today or some other time, but we also need to have a resolution that's adopted to call for or ask the Board of Elections to call for an election. It will be a special election. You have two options. You could do it in September, or you could do it at the same time as the November special election. It's a pretty straightforward resolution. It's certainly more economically advisable to do it at the November election. It's probably $40,000 to $50,000 to do a special election. But if you were to do it at the same time, it would be no additional cost.
Thank you, Attorney Plunkett. Mr. Doss, can you come up, please? We apologize. You've been added to this week's agenda to talk about.
You're not following any order. I'm all over the place. didn't know. I wasn't quite ready. Okay.
Okay. We've asked you to give us direction on the replacement of former Commissioner Alvin Mason and how that looks from an election perspective, as well as fulfilling his vacant seat. So, if you will, you have the floor, sir.
Oh, well, thank you. Hello, everybody. Actually, I am Travis Doss, the Executive Director for the Richmond County Board of Elections. And as you know, of course, with Mr. Mason resigning from the commission, I believe his resignation was on June the 17th. The resignation was accepted by the governor on June the 30th. According to the consolidation bill, it states that any resignation from the mayor or council member, if there is more than 12 months to the end of their term, then the commission is to appoint someone to fill that term until a special election can be held. In the case of Mr. Mason, his term is set to expire, or was set to expire, on December 31st, 2026. And so therefore, it is more than 12 months until his term is up. So the next step would then be for the commission to appoint someone until a special election can be held. The next time for a special election, we have 2 dates in odd numbered years. The first one is September the 16th, and then September the 19th and November the 7th are the next 2 days for special elections. When conducting a special election, at least 29 days must exist before the call. So we are within the timeline if you wanted to have a special election in September. Of course, it would be a very tight timeline to try and conduct an election with qualifying and with the call before that September date. Of course, the next date would be November the 7th, and that date, of course, is already a date that we have an election going on. If you were to have the special election in September, that would be a standalone election, not budgeted, not funded, and it would only take place, of course, in Commission District 4. If it is set for November the 7th, it is the 4th. I apologize. Thank you. Knew I was saying something wrong. So the November the 4th is the special election date for November. And so if it is set for that date has already been budgeted because we already have a special election for the Public Service Commission on that date. And you also have the floating homestead exemption, which was passed to also appear on that date on the November 4th special election date.
Okay. I'm going to ask his colleagues, November 4th probably be a more practical date, but it's certainly up to this governing body to decide. Is there any opposition for having this special election on November 4th? Madam Clerk? All right. Commissioner Scott, do you want to chime in? Or I'm just, November 4th, is there any opposition? Madam Clerk, hearing and seeing no opposition, I think November 4th is the date for a special election.
Mr. Mayor, I will get a resolution prepared so that you can adopt it hopefully by the end of the meeting, or so that y'all can at least see the resolution in advance. So I'll get that done. It should be brought over here in a couple of minutes.
You got it. Thank you so much. All right. Director Doss, thank you so much. We're going to go through items now, number 35 and 42. Chair recognizes Commissioner Francine Scott from the 9th.
Thank you, Mayor Johnson. Thank you for the information, Mr. Doss. I would like to put a name up for nomination, and that is Augusta Palmer for the replacing of Commissioner Alvin Mason. Commissioner Mason done an great job in what he was doing, and here it is again. I think 2 years in my stead, we had to bring somebody in because of unforeseen circumstances. So I would like to have Augusta's Palmer name up for nomination.
Thank you so much, Commissioner from the 9th. Attorney Plunkett, do we have to have a motion to open nominations? Is that required? Is that nomination sufficient?
I think it's sufficient.
It is sufficient. So we have a nomination of Augustus Palmer for the replacement of former Commissioner Alvin Mason. Thank you, Commissioner Scott. Chair recognizes Commissioner from the 5th, Commissioner Don Clark.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. I'd like to nominate Tanya Barnhill as a candidate for consideration.
Thank you, Commissioner Clark. Are there any additional nominations? Chair recognizes Commissioner Jordan Johnson from the 1st.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. I don't have a nomination, but I would like to just say for the record that I believe that it is the people's responsibility to elect their leaders and not our responsibility to appoint leaders. So I will be abstaining from voting for either candidate, although I think that they're both highly qualified and extraordinary individuals. And I just want to say publicly that once the appointment is made, I can't wait to jump in and start working with you. But for the record today, I wanted to just state publicly that I will not be voting one way or the other, because it is just my thoughts that the people should vote for their representatives. And I took this position also years ago when Commissioner Mason was appointed as well. But after today's meeting, can't wait to roll up our sleeves and get to work. Thank y'all, and good luck.
Thank you, Commissioner Johnson. Madam Clerk, we have two nominees. First nomination is for Mr. Augustus Palmer. Second nomination is for Ms. Tanya Barnhill. Are there any additional nominations before I ask for the close of nominations?
Mayor Johnson, I think we need to close the nominations.
All right, there has been a request to close nominations. Attorney Plunkett, do we need to do that in the form of a motion, or is it closed?
I think it's sufficient to be closed. You just need to call for the election in the order they were nominated.
You got it. The nominations are not closed. We're going to call for an order, a vote by in which they were nominated. The first vote will be for Mr. Augustus Palmer. Madam Clerk, we're ready to vote.
Commissioner Garrett.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, could you tell us how you're voting, sir, for Mr. Augustus Palmer's nomination?
No.
Okay. Yes, sir. Thank you. Go ahead on. That motion carries 6-3-1.
Madam?
5-1. Well, no, Mr. Garrett voted no.
That motion fails. All right. So, ladies and gentlemen, that motion for Mr. Augustus Palmer has failed. I would now ask for a vote for Ms. Tanya Barnhill.
Mr. Mayor, let me just go ahead on for the record. Mr. Jordan Johnson abstained. Ms. Stacy Pulliam voted yes. Ms. Catherine Rice, no. Mr. Don Clark, no. Mr. Tony Lewis, yes. Ms. Tina Slindeck, no. Mr. Brandon Garrett, no. Ms. Francine Scott, yes. Mr. Wayne Guilfoyle, no. Mayor Johnson, no.
Thank you, Madam Clerk. Second nominee is for Ms. Tanya Barnhill. Colleagues, we're ready to vote.
Mr. Garrett? Commissioner Garrett?
Yes.
Mr. Garrett votes yes. That motion carries 6-3-1. Mr. Johnson abstains. Ms. Pulliam votes no. Ms. Rice votes yes. Mr. Clark, yes. Mr. Tony Lewis, no. Ms. Tina Slindeck, yes. Mr. Garrett, yes. Francine Scott, no. Wayne Guilfoyle, yes. Mayor Johnson, yes.
Thank you, Madam Clerk. Ms. Barnhill, congratulations. You have been nominated to serve in the Commission 4 District, replacing Commissioner Alvin Mason. If you will come up front for just a second, please. Attorney Plunkett, as she comes forward, we're going to lean on you as to the protocol to either have Ms. Barnhill sworn into office, and what's the protocol for her to take her seat on this commission.
Mr. Mayor, she could be.
Ms. Barnhill.
She's
ahead of the game.
Okay.
Mr. Mayor, it would be Ms. Barnhill, and I know it's just Barnhill Turnley, so it's a hyphenated name. She could be sworn in today if we can make arrangements to get an oath and a judge appropriately. Alternatively, she could schedule a time that she would like to be sworn in, and so it's kind of up to Ms. Turnley, which she would like to be done today, or it would take us a little bit of time to get appropriate oaths prepared.
Right.
What would be your preference?
We can do it later. I don't want to hold, I know the agenda is long and there's a lot going on today, and I really don't want to hold up the process.
Okay, so if you could arrange with the legal counsel to arrange your swear-in and all of the necessary paperwork, but, and just notify this body. First, I want to congratulate you on your appointment. Ladies and gentlemen, let's give a round of applause. Thank you so much. Would you like to say anything?
Yeah, if I could say just a few words. First, I want to thank God for this opportunity. I do not take it lightly. I appreciate all the support from everyone here on the commission. I want to say love to my sister who's watching from Atlanta. I want to say love to two of my lead consultants for my company, Lenore Andrews and Mark Jenkins, who have, been by my side from day one. I really appreciate that. And I also want to thank I see some out here in the audience, my Good Shepherd Church family, and I see some really good friends, and I really appreciate your support. As I said earlier, I do not take this lightly. I appreciate the opportunity to serve and represent directly the 25,000 plus people of District 4 and wholly the 200,000 plus people that call Augusta Richmond County home. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Barnhill, and again, congratulations. All right, Madam Clerk. I think we need to move through this delegation now before we get to this consent agenda. Unless you want to do the consent while we're on this, and then we move back to delegation. Let's get the consent done.
You want to do that?
Let's do that. Let's first address these addendum items. Colleagues, if you will, there's been 4 addendum items that have been added to today's agenda.
Yes, Mr. Mayor. Item number 1, that matter has been taken care of. However, there's a substitute for that item.
All right, so there's a substitute for item 1.
Consideration.
All right. We're going to give you guys an opportunity to get the update for item 1.
Tamika, did you keep on?
Yes.
Okay.
And ladies and gentlemen, we're going to try to get through the consent because some of you may be here for items that we may consent, so it gives you an opportunity to perhaps exit if you'd like, but just give us a second. All right, colleagues.
Okay. Just for public notice, sir, can I read them out?
Yes,
and then
ma'am,
you all
please.
can decide.
Thank you so much.
Okay. Under our consent portion, under engineering, the commission is asked to consider a motion to approve the agreement with Infrastructure Systems Management for site restoration services related to Hurricane Helene debris removal and to increase the Helene ancillary expense revenue and expense budget in the amount of $343,320. Item number 2 is an update from the Augusta Utilities Department on the Highland Water Treatment Plant. Item number 3 is to have the Administrator's Office research and have the appropriate department apply for CDGB disaster relief funding. Item number 4 is a motion to approve the appointment of Trent Mercer to the General Aviation Commission, Daniel Field, representing District 7.
Thank you so much, Madam Clerk. Colleagues, is there any objection to adding these 4 items to today's agenda? Madam Clerk?
I have a question, Mr. Mayor.
Yes, ma'am. Commissioner Pulliam.
I have 2 questions, actually.
Okay.
This was given to us. Does this, what we just received, does this go with item 1, or did I mishear something?
Madam Clerk, for clarification.
Yes, ma'am. The agenda item, it replaces item number 1. Item 1 was deleted, and in its place, we're adding the debris management site restoration agenda.
Okay, so we're not consenting item number 1, this
Not
on
the
this
printed
paper?
on the agenda, no, ma'am.
Okay, understood.
Okay. Second question, Commissioner Pulliam.
Second question is, item number 3, I have a question for the administrator regarding that.
Okay. Could we just agree to add it to agenda, maybe pull it for discussion? Is that okay?
Yes.
Okay, thank you so much.
Thank you.
All right, is there any objection to add these items, and we'll just go through the consent?
None.
Hearing or seeing none, Madam Clerk, these items are added to the agenda. I think that now takes us to the consent agenda item. Let's see, we have 1 through 27, and we're going to go through the queue. So Commissioner Francine Scott, Madam, you're up first. All right, Commissioner Scott is no longer in the queue. Mayor Pro Tem Wayne Guilfoyle.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Under the addendum, I'd like to consent agenda item number 1, agenda item number 4. Under the Augusta Commission regular agenda, I'd like to consent agenda item number 38, agenda item.
Wait a minute, just a moment.
I'm sorry, Madam Clerk.
Number 38, okay.
Yes, ma'am. Agenda item number 39.
39.
And delete agenda item number 40 because it's approved the final splosh number 9 project list, which we are not going to handle.
Okay, we're going to delete it, but add it to the consent agenda for deletion? Is that what you're saying? Yeah, under the regular?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay.
All right, so you're deleting 40. Repeat that again. You kind of lost me there.
Me too. Agenda item.
No, we're talking about item 40. You going to delete it?
Approved the final splosh.
Okay. All right.
And it's
still active. Okay, I got you. All right, delete 40. Gotcha. All right. Thank you so much, Mayor Pro Tempore Wayne Guilfoyle. Chair recognizes Commissioner Don Clark from the 5th.
Hey, Mr. Mayor, from the consent agenda, I'd like to pull item number 2.
All right. So you're going to pull number 2 from addendum. All right. Is that it, Commissioner Clark?
Yep, that's all I have. Thanks.
All right, thank you, Commissioner Clark. Commissioner Pulliam, Madam, you have the floor.
Thank you, sir. Did we pull 38? I mean, did we consent 38?
Yes.
38.
I have a question before I agree to consenting that, so I don't know if I need to keep that on there or not. I'll pull it, yes.
All right. Just going to pull number 38 on the regular agenda, 38, Commissioner Pulliam. All right. All right. Madam Clerk, I don't see any colleagues in the queue. Can you get it on the screen so we could get squared up here?
Okay. Under the consent agenda, item number 2 is being pulled by Commissioner Don Clark. Under our regular portion of the agenda, item number 38 is being pulled by Commissioner Pulliam. We're adding to the consent item 39 and number 40 for deletion.
For deletion, okay.
And on our addendum agenda, item number 4 is being added to the consent agenda.
All right. All right, colleagues, we're ready to vote on this.
Let's see what we've got.
All right, let's vote.
Well, I need a motion.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Motion to approve.
Okay, that's
right,
Ms. Rice.
That's Ms. Rice and
Mr. Clark.
Mr. Clark.
Okay.
All right, now we got to start the machine over, sir. My apologies.
They can just vote again.
Just vote again. That's right, I've already voted.
Yeah, you can just hit it again.
Number 8. We're pulling 8.
Commissioner Garrett, you still on the line, sir?
Mr. Mayor, before we publish the vote, you're needing to pull 8. The administrator is requesting to pull item number 8.
Let's take a look. Colleagues, take a look at number 8.
Is there any objection to that? I know we're in the middle of voting.
Any objection to pulling item number 8? I think the Augusta Destination Group is here and they want to present. They don't want to present? Oh, they're fine with it?
Mr. Mayor, there was just a couple of small clarifications on that agreement, and they were really more technical in nature. We were defining what the adventure park was, and they had some dates in there that we rolled back to make it a little bit easier on finance in terms of budgeting, and that's really the substantial changes that we made, or substantive changes. but I didn't know if y'all wanted to go through it. But those are the only changes we made of any merit.
Is there any desire to discuss those changes, or are we gonna, you got? Okay, I think we're good. We're good. So we're not pulling it. We're gonna leave it on the
Okay.
consent, all right?
All right. Mr. Garrett, how are you voting on the proposed consent agenda? Commissioner Garrett?
All right,
I vote yes.
there he is. He was muted. You gotta turn your mic on, Madam Clerk.
It's unanimous.
Okay, thank you so much. All right, ladies and gentlemen, if your item has been consented, you're more than welcome to leave or feel free to stay. We'd love to have you here. We're getting ready to go through our delegation portion right now, Madam Clerk.
Okay.
Thank you so much.
Our first delegation, item B, Ms. Yolanda Brooks, regarding constructive eviction and safe-at-home laws relative to the Maxwell House apartments.
Thank you so much, Madam Clerk. Ms. Brooks, welcome to today's commission meeting. We appreciate your patience. If you will, for the record, please state your name and address.
My name is Yolanda Brooks, at 1002 Green Street.
Okay.
It's a 30901.
Thank you, ma'am. You have 5 minutes.
Reason for me standing before you again, which would be my third time, is in regards to formally expressing my growing frustration and deep concern and disappointment regarding the continued deterioration of the living conditions in the apartment building at Maxwell House. It has gotten worse. The elevators hasn't worked, both of them, for the past 3 weeks. So as you do know, there's people in that building who are over 55, 60s. They sent us an email stating to check on each other. That is what the management company is telling us tenants to do with each other. They do have security downstairs in the building, I guess, to secure that they will escort us out the building safely, I would assume. But with that being said, the ongoing lack of accountability and timely enforcement by the code enforcement officers that keep giving Maxwell House time. We don't need Maxwell House to get no more time. We've had over 56 signatures from the tenants in the building stating that they were unsafe, still ongoing unsafe. So we're just trying to look and help, scream for help with this apartment building. It's getting so much worse. The situation, as I said, is not only unacceptable, but it's dangerous and demoralizing. Along with many of my other neighbors, we feel that our voices are being ignored, and also our safety is devalued. This is a betrayal of trust when we place in our elected officials. We was hoping, besides Mr. Johnson, he's doing the best he can do for us, I must say. We are still behind the ball as far as safety. I hate to show it, but I'm gonna have to. So these are the rats that are in our walls, okay? They are alive, they're moving, okay? That was number 6 just to my unit. We're not gonna ignore the fact that the issues of this building has been ongoing for years, but we are talking about the now, the today. I also have a 3-year-old, so my fight is to help at least the other tenants of the building to get some type of answers of when this apartment building of 84 units, there's only 31 people occupying the building. We're just looking to seeking some more help. Now, we do understand that HUD is where we need to be focusing on in order to get help for that building because they are receiving HUD funds. So I come before you guys today, again, for the 3rd time, to please help us in this building. Please don't give them no more time. They've had until May 9th to comply. Some of those complying things they've given us is not working. They have one maintenance man out of the whole entire building. They say they hired more, but as we know, we're still behind the ball. So I just urge that you take immediate action, not symbolic gestures or more delays. Everyone who rides past that building, you feel bad for us. Don't feel bad, be part of the change. There's elderly people in the building who to this day can't leave if they wanted to. Even their home health aides don't want to walk up the stairs, including the fire department, who keep getting called there for reasons that they probably should for 911 calls. They have to, as you know, go up those stairs, all 10 flights. There's no reason why that building should not have elevators. We don't have not one working. And then I knew this morning got serious when my 3-year-old is asking me, are we using the stairs today? That's sad for a 3-year-old to have to experience rats, roaches, and continuous things going on with this building, the mold, the peeling of the walls. You know, it's like, I don't know what else to say. I'm just gonna end it with, please consider this letter as a formal request for a written response detailing how your office intends to address the ongoing neglect and protect of the residents of the community of the Maxwell House.
Thank you. Thank you, ma'am. Appreciate you being here. There's some colleagues in the queue, but the first I want to ask, is there anybody here representing Maxwell House regarding their ownership? Can we have someone from code enforcement come up while Mr. Vassar? Mr. Vassar, are you in the audience? Or guest?
Vassar's on vacation this
Okay, all right. Sir, before I go through the colleagues that are in the queue, how can we notify the property owner of these complaints and these obvious continued issues? Very similar to how we address the folks with Redwood, with Bonnet and Richmond Summit. Have we been in touch with the ownership group of this property?
Code enforcement has been in touch with the regional management team and the on-site manager.
Attorney Plunkett, is there any way we could, very similar to what we did with the Bonaire Apartments and Richmond Summit, can we make plans to get in touch with the ownership group of this property, because it continues to be an ongoing problem? And certainly when you have a 10-story building where you have residents that can't access their apartments, is a serious ADA compliance issue as well as a safety issue.
Mr. Mayor, the law department will get with code enforcement this week, and we'll talk about what we can, what's going on in terms of those options, and then bring back something by next week to y'all.
You got it. Thank you so much. I'm going through the queue. Chair recognizes Mayor Pro Tem Wynn Guilfoyle.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Ms. Burks, thank you for coming before us to enlighten us on this. Is Chief Burden in the house? Ms. Burks, can I speak to Chief Burden?
Good afternoon, sir.
Good afternoon. Chief, I imagine this is a 10-story building. How many stories is this, Ms. Brooks?
Oh, it's 10.
10 stories. So we got a ambulance central here. We got the fire department here. We got code enforcement. So if we had to have somebody on the 9th floor, 8th floor, somebody that had a heart attack, they have to go up a flight of steps.
Yes, sir.
All right. In order for a company that's building a building to get a CO, certificate occupancy, they have to have everything functioning, from exit lights to doors operated to elevators working.
Yes, sir. You're correct.
How do we shut this or put a time limit, get this thing here in operation, or are we going to shut you down, take back the CO? How do we do this?
So the fire department, me, myself, being the AHJ for this community, our jurisdiction lies in a building like this within the common areas only. We don't have jurisdiction within each and every apartment. So the common areas is the fire protection systems, the hallways, the high hazard areas, the boiler rooms and such.
The ingress, egress of the building?
As it relates to the elevators, that falls under the state fire marshal. And we are aware that we had a fire there on July 6th, which rendered those elevators inoperable. We have notified the state fire marshal. They are aware, and the elevators itself lies within the state fire marshal's jurisdiction.
And how long ago was that?
We notified and spoke with the fire marshal last week.
So the elevators have not worked since July 6th?
To my understanding, yes, sir.
Can I?
I'm sorry.
We have been informed. We've been in touch with management, and they have notified us, our fire marshal, plan of action in terms of getting those elevators fixed.
Attorney Plunkett. I'm sorry, Commissioner.
No, we on the same channel. Go ahead.
We need to take action for the people that are living in that building. I'm imagining there are people that that can't take the stairs.
That's my point.
What action can be taken today so people can access their apartments without taking 10 flights of stairs?
Well, as a practical matter, sir, I don't know that there's something you can do to make something work that's being probably shut down by the state fire marshal till it's inspected. I will, one of the things I'm thinking, I don't know if it's appropriate or not, but there may be some obligation to provide alternative housing on a limited basis. So I'm not sure if that is a thing, but we can certainly look into it. And I meet with the law department staff at 10 a.m. on Wednesday mornings. So this is number one on our conversation tomorrow. We'll do what we can. I don't think I can make a promise for today, but we will do our best to get something, at least some information to the fire chief and to planning, by the close of business Wednesday, we'll try to have a plan to go forward.
Has anybody checked on residents that don't have access, that can't get to their floors? Yes, ma'am. What?
Fairly me. That's why I knock on doors and check to see how they're feeling. And lately, it's a little worse. They turn off the air conditioner after 5 and don't turn it back on until 9. And they have 2 separate air conditioning units, one for their personal office and one for the common areas. So when they leave, of course, that building comes with utilities included. How do we cut the bill? Cut it down when we leave. So not only are we dealing with an unsafe environment, being as elderly and children, but it's hot all night. It's 85 overnight. Don't nobody understand or know. I'm so irritable, and my anxiety is every day and every second. When I leave here, I gotta walk up 10 flights of stairs. You know what I mean? I have a child that I'm trying to walk with a stroller. I got my bag. I got my, it's a lot going on. That building is very unsafe, and it's been too long that they're buying time to fix. But when?
Can you verify and validate that her accusations are true, sir?
Code enforcement went out there this week before hours, before 8:30, and the building was at normal temperature.
Okay.
We didn't have a tester to say that it was, but the code enforcement officer came back and said that the ambient temperature in the common areas was sufficient. She also spoke with a tenant that lived on the 7th floor, and the tenant also said that they do not shut the AC off at night.
Can you dispatch someone to that building now?
Yes,
to
I
check
can.
the conditions?
I actually have my unit that can be used, because I did it specifically
Today.
to shut all the
Today, got
windows
it.
so we could feel it for ourselves.
Okay. We need someone dispatched there today
Got it.
to see if her accusations are correct. Okay?
Got it.
And that information needs to be provided back through Attorney Plunkett to send to this governing body.
Got it.
Okay? Commissioner Guilfoyle, my apologies, sir. You were in the queue. You have the floor.
Thank you. This goes back to Chief Burden.
Yes, sir.
Chief, State Fire Marshal. I imagine the State Fire Marshal and our local fire department's got a good relationship?
Yes, sir.
All right, all it is a phone call away. Hey, I need your help. There's a lot of people at risk. Could that be a possibility?
We've already contacted them.
That
Yes,
was
sir.
last week.
Yes, sir.
Kind of like my secretary called the bank.
So to
Keep
also.
calling until you get an answer.
Yes, sir. So also to let you know, we have assurance that they've hired a company to fix the elevators. As it relates to a time frame, Chief Perkins, do you have any update on that?
I can provide that, if you don't mind. I spoke to Otis this morning, their project manager, and the way he gave me an update as of today, the parts are coming in Wednesday of next week. Then once the parts are arrived, they're going to be working overtime, extended hours to get one of the elevators operational.
Does it even make any sense?
It doesn't. All right. Commissioner Guilfoyle, you still have the floor,
Yes,
sir.
Chief Burden brought his fire inspector up. Is that correct? Your position? I don't have a clue.
Chief Perkins and Fire Marshal for the Augusta Fire Department.
Chief Perkins, how do we shut these people down, or how do we get them to where we could get their attention?
In April, we had a joint inspection of the entire property with code enforcement. We notated all the violations. We met with them on April the 22nd, explained what the violations were. They were required to file a plan of correction with both departments with a specific timeline. Once that was done, they report regularly as to what's been completed. Unfortunately, due to the fire and the sprinkler system activation and runoff into the elevator shafts from the fire on the 6th, that's what rendered the elevators non-functional. They were functioning prior to that. We met again. I assigned an inspector to make sure that the systems were put back in service and corrected. I've been meeting with the management company and owners regularly. They supplied me with the signed and executed contract with Otis to repair the elevators along with the timeline. We notified the State Fire Marshal's Office as required. They have jurisdiction over all elevators in the state of Georgia. It's not something locally that we control. All elevators are managed by the State Fire Marshal's Office and the Office of the Insurance Commission. Just as they told Mr. Bradley that they're looking at a week and a half, 2 weeks to get the elevators back done. They have made the commitment. I have the contract, signed contract. I've seen the deposit. So at this point, other than relocating to lower floors or self-vacating the building, there's not really much on as far as the fire code that we can do because elevators are not part of emergency egress.
Thank you, Mr. Perkins.
Chair recognizes Commissioner from the 1st, Commissioner Johnson.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. You know, here we are again, dealing with slumlords, dealing with people who don't really give a damn about folks who can't afford better. It's not their properties, it's not their homes, it's not their situation, so they're living in nice homes, they're living in nice communities. You know, they don't really care. And then they have the nerve to try to evict Ms. Brooks because she's actually speaking out about these issues. And on her eviction notice, it actually says because she's going door to door, corralling her residents to actually speak out, right? So, I mean, my frustration here is that not only do we have elevators at the Maxwell House that's been out for a while and that's going to be out for another week or so, over the weekend, we just dealt with the same thing at the Richmond Summit where elderly people were sleeping in the lobby because both of their elevators were out as well. And it was actually a flaw of the Redwood housing people. So, I mean, I understand the need for additional notices and things of that nature, but they don't have 2 weeks. They don't have another day to where they can sleep in lobbies and have to take stairs. I mean, the apartments that we went to, a lot of those folks were elderly and they were handicapped. So they're sleeping in the stairwells and they're sleeping in some of those multi-purpose rooms that hadn't worked in 20 years. So, I mean, one thing I can say about Redwood is that they offered housing, hotel vouchers for the residents who were impacted by the elevators being out. I think we need to make contact today to the owners of the Maxwell House and let them know that we expect the same thing over at the Maxwell. And this whole notion of putting them on probation to revoke their business license, I don't know what the process is there, but I will hope that we can make some kind of decision today on doing that for the Maxwell too, because they just don't care. They don't care. They do not care about the residents living in these apartment complexes. They are nothing more to the folks in the Maxwell House and Richmond Summit and Bonaire than rental opportunities. And when we went through the Maxwell House about a month or so ago with Bradley and Chief and everyone else, we went floor to floor, room to room. And if I had the opportunity to tell you what I saw, we would be here all day and your stomachs would be turning after I got done. That one picture of a rat was the only picture that she showed, but she sends me pictures of rats every day. So we're talking about elevators out, we're talking about mold, we're talking about rats all over the building, we're talking about human feces in the stairwells. And they have the nerve to try to evict tenants. So what I'm suggesting is that we get on the phone with the owners today and let them know that we're expecting some type of hotel voucher to go to these residents who are impacted. Because how in the hell are we willing, or not even willing, how are we expecting them to be able to take 2 weeks or week and a half without having access to their homes? So, I mean, it's irritating because it's like every week we're coming back up here with another apartment complex. If it's not Bonaire, it's Redwood, it's Richmond. If it's not Richmond, it's Maxwell. And I guarantee you somebody else is going to be coming up here soon. So, I mean, I would hope that we can put them on probation or whatever we did the last time around for the other group. Today, I don't know if we can do that. Jim, I don't know if we can, but hopefully you can give us some insight on that. I think one way to get their attention, as the mayor is saying, is we send them a notice that says that their business license is under review. And then I also want to hit on one point as well, and I'm going to yield the floor so I don't say another Sunday school word, is that the building itself, if it were to catch on fire today,
Oh, my goodness.
okay? If it were to catch on fire today, when we went on that walkthrough of that building, the system was not adequate enough to be able to save those folks in that building. So this building has just as much urgency as the other two. And so what I also want to submit to Bradley is if you can send us the report from the last two code enforcement walkthroughs from the Maxwell House, okay?
Thank you so
No, we don't
much.
have to.
Thank you so much.
Okay.
That's all I want.
Is that doable? Mr. Benjamin?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Attorney Plunkett, on August 5th, we have the owners of, and we're having a meeting with the folks from Bon Air and Richmond Summit. Is there any way we can get this owner in town?
Mr. Mayor, the short answer is that we could make it work in terms of August 5th. It would be a part of providing notice in this body, directing to go forward. My concern a little bit is if we could do possibly a conditional hearing. And what I mean is that y'all direct us to conduct the hearing on the revocation today. In light of the fact we're trying to do some investigation at the same time, let me retract that. What I would suggest is that y'all make a motion that you direct us to conduct a hearing on the revocation. And if our investigation with the fire department and planning shows that there is something that should not be conducted, we could cancel the hearing. But I think y'all could direct us to move forward with a hearing to revoke today. And then we could, we can always cancel it if we needed to, but that way would provide reasonable notice to them of the revocation.
Thank you, Attorney Plunkett. Is there a motion?
So moved.
I'll second.
I have a question as well.
All right, thank you. I have a motion from Commissioner Johnson, second from Commissioner Wayne Guilfoyle. Commissioner Johnson, you have the floor.
And that does put us in line with the same items that we're pushing for Bon Air and Richmond Summit as well.
We would probably notice them for 30 minutes later or something like that. They'd be the same. The reasons would be slightly different, but we would notice them for the same date, for August 5th.
Okay, all right. And then one more thing here before we vote. I want to also request that we have the housing authority present at these meetings as well, because a certain percentage of those units are also housing authority units. And there might be a need for the housing authority to push for better inspections of the properties that they are in control of. Because I know of one that they're in control of that we went to, and I walked in and had to walk right back out because I couldn't stomach it. If they can't pass inspection and they're not being held accountable, something has to happen to the people who can push the envelope to make something happen. So that's all I'll submit.
Thank you, Mr. Johnson. All right, Madam Clerk, we have a motion on the floor. Attorney Plunkett, just for clarity, can you just state what our motion is to get the owners of the Maxwell?
The motion is to conduct a hearing to determine whether or not to revoke the business license of the Maxwell House.
Thank you so much, Attorney Plunkett. Madam Clerk, we're prepared to vote.
Mr. Garrett, are you still with us?
I vote yes.
Okay. You vote yes. Thank you. It's unanimous.
Thank you, Madam Clerk. Ms. Brooks, how many of you guys are here from the Maxwell House? Is this your entire?
Well, that's my crew because
Okay.
that's who I've been together, getting all the tenants together, making sure I get the signatures of the tenants and just speaking to them, and they help me to go to door. They've been a great asset to me, and I'm by myself. I try to get some of the tenants to come, but they're so afraid to show their face. They just know they're going to be.
Does Commissioner Johnson, do you have her number, Ms. Brooks? All right, we're going to be in touch. So you'll hear from someone today. We're working on something. Can't announce, but just sit tight, okay?
Okay.
All right, thank you so much. Madam Clerk? Let's move on to the next delegation item. Sir, don't forget to get your folks by there today, all right? Thank you so much.
Our next delegation, item C, Natasha Robinson, Jeremy Johnson, regarding affordable housing homes built for educators on Lyman Street being allowed to abide by HUD guidelines of 9-month rule to turn properties that haven't sold to rentals.
Thank you so much. Ms. Robinson, good day. How are you?
I'm well. How are you, Mayor?
Good. If you will, for record, please state your name and address.
My name is Natasha Robinson. My residence is 3622 Pebble Creek Drive, Hepzibah.
Thank you, ma'am. Is Mr. Johnson with you today? Mr. Jeremy Johnson?
No, he's not.
He's not. You have the floor. You have 5 minutes.
Thank you. I'm here on behalf of my client, Jeremy Johnson, the Director of Investor Relations for Vetted Investments and Acquisitions, LLC. And our ask today is for the Augusta Housing and Community Development to immediately pay us the remaining money in our construction agreement in accordance with the 9-month sales cycle outlined in HUD guidelines. I bring to you a letter from Jeremy Johnson's desk, a memo from Jeremy Johnson. Can Augusta Housing and Community Development be trusted? I'll let you decide. We know private developers make more money building apartments than building affordable homes, and that's why communities nationwide continue to struggle to provide affordable housing to its citizens. Augusta is no exception. To combat this, the Department of Housing and Urban Development offers private developers something they can't find on the private market: guaranteed payout with the catch that is a much smaller profit margin than the private market. That's a long way of saying private developers who partner with cities to build affordable housing do so not for the money, rather for the mission. That's the mission our firm, Vetted Investments and Acquisitions, undertook when we successfully partnered with HCD to build the affordable homes for veterans on Cedar Street, and more recently, the affordable homes we built for Richmond County educators and employees on Lyman Street, which is what we're here to discuss. SRP Federal Credit Union also understands this mission, and that's why after several meetings between Jeremy Johnson, Director Welcher, and SRP leadership, SRP agreed to pilot a funding model that would allow any qualified developer to partner with the city to build affordable homes. In short, after being assured by Director Welcher that the homes built with HCD always sell, SRP relied on assurance made by Director Welcher and the construction agreement approved by the Commission as surety that our firm would easily be able to repay our construction loan with them. But that's not what happened. As the affordable homes 2533, 2537, 2558, and 2567 on Lyman Street sat unsold for months, Jeremy reached out to HCD via email and was ignored for weeks. Director Lewis finally called him on the cell phone, requested that we don't involve the commission and instead give her department more time. We agreed to meet virtually to discuss how to collaborate with the Richmond County Board of Education to promote awareness of the homes to their staff. The Board of Education representative showed up, Jeremy showed up, but Director Lewis did not show up. After rescheduling, it was agreed that the original construction agreement, which did not specify what happens if a home does not sell, needs to be amended to allow the firm to be paid. Again, the aforementioned clause was not required due to the assurances SRP was given by Director Welcher. Fortunately, the Department of Housing and Urban Development does specify what happens. HUD doesn't suggest homes built with home funds be converted into rentals within 9 months. It mandates that homes be either converted into rental homes or the money used must be returned to HUD. June 3rd, 2025 makes 9 months. Rather than simply abide by HUD guidelines, HCD is attempting to make our firm continue to carry the ongoing construction loan payments with no end in sight until the homes sell, and their justification for this, the contract, which they drafted and got approved by the commission, is missing a clause they should have included. Witnessing the resistance HCD applies in paying its partners, I cannot say with certainty if SRP would be willing to use city agreements as surety moving forward. That is to say, the issue may have closed the door we intended to leave open for more developers to walk through. These homes must be turned into rentals at this point, and we must be paid because our part is done. The homes were built to standard and have sat for 9 months. So
One minute.
Again, we ask, Can Augusta Housing and Community Department be trusted? And Commissioners, it's your decision to direct or not direct HCD to follow HUD guidelines so we can repay our financial obligation to SRP. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Robinson. What is your relationship in this arrangement with Mr. Johnson?
I'm the asset manager of his properties here in Augusta.
You're the asset manager. Thank you so much. There's a colleague that is in the queue. Chair recognizes Mayor Pro Tem Wayne Guilfoyle.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Ms. Robertson, I had a couple emails going back and forth with Mr. Johnson in regards to these 4 houses. And when I went by and looked at the 4 houses, the yards were overgrown. He's responsible for selling the houses. HCD complied per contract, per both agreements, the HCD side as well as Mr. Johnson. As far as HCD paying 80%, funded 80%. The remainder, 20%, comes from Mr. Johnson's responsibility by selling the houses. Once he sells the houses, that's when he captures his profits. Is that correct?
Correct.
Okay. So what you are, or Mr. Johnson, and since you representing him, is you trying to push in HUD or HUD guidelines in on a contract that was never in that contract. Would that be correct to say too?
Correct.
Okay, so the responsibility falls under Mr. Johnson, and you represented him. My best recommendation for Mr. Johnson to do in order to recapture his money or his profit is to actually clean the houses, yards up, and try to promote it. If the real estate agent is not sufficient, find a different real estate agent.
I believe the problem was in the agreement, we have to use a real estate agent that is provided by HCD.
Right.
And that's part of the issue is that real estate agent is doing his due diligence. So if we could get our own real estate agent to do it, that would be different.
That'll be having to go back to the drawing board where both parties would have to agree. Now, if the agent is not doing their job, you could recommend a different agent from HCD. Have y'all done that?
I'll have to get back to you on that.
Okay. I just find it that it's odd that Mr. Johnson would have you come before us knowing that HCD complied with everything on their side of the contract. And he's asking for the 20%, even though the houses ain't sold to teachers. That's what it's set aside for, is teachers, and try to promote that area on Lyman Street. The houses all look the same. They're nice houses if you would clean up the yard, if they would clean up the yard and pressure wash the driveway. I don't know if the air conditioners are in there. But as far as the city having any responsibility, we won't have any responsibility, not unless Mr. Charles could enlighten something I might have said wrong.
No, sir. As a matter of fact, I was made aware of the contract just a day ago. And so I'm still vetting all the issues that have taken place prior to my time being assigned there.
If you would just follow up on the email chain that I had with HCD as well as Mr. Johnson. And Mr. Johnson did try to reply, but he went off topic and wasn't staying with the gist of the conversation. So, but as far as HCD, they have complied to what the obligation in the contract is. Ms. Robertson. Thank you.
Thank you, Commissioner Guilfoyle. Chair recognizes Commissioner Don Clark from the 5th.
Thanks, Mr. Mayor. I'd like to receive this as information with the understanding that Deputy Jackson is going to do some due diligence, digging, follow up, and provide some information back to the body.
Thank you so much, Commissioner. Can we receive that information without objection? Is there any objection to receiving this as information? Pardon me? Well, that's his delegation, so.
But it's a follow-on with him to bring information back to us.
Let's follow up with Mr. Jackson to bring information back to this governing body.
Absolutely.
Thank you so much. All right, ma'am, thank you for being here. Madam Clerk, I think that takes us to delegation item D.
Mr. Michael Dixon regarding pollution around Augusta and the lack of action regarding the dire conditions of our city, the health of our citizens.
Thank you so much. Mr. Dixon, if you will, state your name and address for the record.
Yes, sir. 1 second. Let me get this pulled up and I'll get started.
Okay.
Michael Dixon, 1413 Springfield Circle, Augusta, Georgia.
Thank you, Mr. Dixon. We're going to ask you to keep this rated G, because oftentimes with this governing body, you send us some pretty serious and direct messages, and we would ask that you be respectful before this governing body as you address us, please.
I understand that, but I also would like you to respect me and my first constitutional right.
We
Am
will
I
give
not,
you a constitutional
am I
right.
not free?
Well,
I want a clarification on why you would say that.
profanity is not a part of this governing body in this setting, and we would ask that you just be respectful, not use profane language in this chamber.
I understand that, but I'll call the question why other members have been able to do the same things, but yet I'll digress from that. But
Yes, sir. You have the floor. You have 5 minutes.
okay. The city we live in is shaped by our choices, so what we see before us is a product of what we have chosen to do. All we have to do is choose a different way to see a different outcome. It's that simple. Right. Richmond County in the state of Georgia's heart disease is the #1 cause of both age-adjusted and premature death. Below are the 9 leading causes of age-adjusted death from 2016 to 2020. The death rate was 240.7 persons for every 100,000, which is much higher than both the state and national average. For a city of 200,000 people to outrank a state of 11 million people is insane. It is, right? Age-adjusted rate death and aggregated 2016 to 2020. Ischemic heart and vascular disease, primary hypertension, hypertensive renal and heart disease, lung cancer, all COPD except for asthma, Alzheimer's, cerebrovascular disease, which is the blood vessels that go to your brain, mental and behavioral disorders, diabetes, and accidental poisoning. The last was a little bit funny, but it is still the 9th leading cause of death. In 2021, this governing body, well, the government itself, was brought forth a hazard release document showing that the chemical hazards in this city were at a 3.3 rating, which was the highest rating, which went above heat. Right now, downtown Augusta is cooking people like an oven, but yet our rating for that is lower than the chemical hazard posed risk for this city. Just by the own maps of our own transportation districts shows that our chemical districts are all throughout the actual residential areas, that they're surrounded by a toxic donut. And I will quote Hyde Park from that word, of toxic donut, because they were surrounded. As we sit right now, our groundwater is polluted. Our city banned the use of wells in 1996. I was born in 1993, but the water in our city, the groundwater at least, was already polluted in the early 80s and 70s. So that means I have not lived a single day in this city with clean groundwater. That's insane. Then we move on to PFAS in our drinking water. As of November 21st last year, the EPA came here and directly told this governing body that your water was polluted with PFAS. Just because PFAS are unregulated through our chemical boards and the EPA itself and the federal government does not mean that they're safe for consumption. Our water is polluted. We are consuming toxic chemicals, and the only reason we're allowing it is because we don't regulate it. Does that make any sense to anyone in this governing body? It is shameful. Right? Low life expectancy. We outrank the United States for low life expectancy. In most terms, for the entire United States, it's 7 years that the people of this city will live less than anyone else. On top of that, when you start looking at the racial ethnicities between these differences, when you start looking at Grovetown and Columbia County versus here, we're up to almost 10 to 11 years of difference in age of death. At age 64, our Black community and residents will start disappearing and dropping off in death rates higher than the white predominant community. It's not related to things of racial ethnicity. It's not like sickle cell. It's related to where we live, what we're exposed to, and the hazards and our conditions that we have to live, work, and teach in. Right? We move down particulate matter, 2.5, pollution, impact of colorectal cancer and cardiovascular disease. Higher levels of long-term 2.5 exposure reported in CVD mortality, cancer mortality, and colorectal cancer and CVD disease mortality with a pronounced detrimental effect on the vulnerable and minority population, which Augusta falls into. Our community, especially Augusta, before consolidation, was always hard red line from the federal housing community. Every statistic shows that our community has been predominantly targeted by industrial polluters. How can we still sit here today and promote them?
You have 1 minute.
In the 25 years that the American Lung Association has been doing the state of air, Augusta has the worst air quality for the South. We're at 48. Tanya Badatabis. It is absurd to continue to bring highly polluting industries into our community, somehow thinking the people of Augusta want to continue to suffer bad air in exchange for a few jobs. A few jobs. Because this affects all of us. Every single one of us. As you come in over the bridges, do you not see the haze above our city? That affects our health. Every single one of us. And it affects the children in the city more. We have more children in the city with higher lead poisoning than the state of Georgia. We have 102 children that tested positive for lead poisoning. For the entire state of Georgia, it was only 400. That's insane. Again, we are outranking the entire United States for heart disease, asthma, lung cancer, lead poisoning, lead in houses, polluted water.
You have exceeded your time, sir.
Is there any questions that the government body wants to know?
Yes, sir. You know what? We have one. We have a couple. Chair recognizes Mayor Pro Tem Wayne Guilfoyle.
I would like to hear from Wes as far as the groundwater, PFAS, toxin, lead poisoning. That way.
Well, lead poisoning is for paint. The lead issues
anything
around
before
water
1976, that's where you got to have it abated.
Yeah, we have actually done pretty decently, at least on my regards, about removing the lead pipes that were contaminating the city water supply in the early 70s and 80s into the 90s.
Right.
And that there are issues still around those pipes that we replaced, but those are not dealing with lead. So I just want to specify that and say I'm not making a claim that there is lead in the water, but we do have lead-related issues dealing with the Housing and HUD Authority. That's where a lot of the lead from children is coming from, is lead paint and contamination.
Thank you, Mr. Dixon. Wes, in regards to our groundwater, pre-90s, when we couldn't do wells, I live in Hetsville. We do have wells, by the way. The farmers use wells for irrigation. Can you kind of enlighten us? Are we governed by state guidelines as far as our drinking water, et cetera? Because last thing I need to do is for us to have the reputation that our water's not safe.
Sure. We're governed by state and federal regulations revolving around groundwater and surface water use. We have, I think it's 78 sampling points throughout the system. We test routinely for lead and what's called the UCMR5 suite of contaminants. All that information is publicly available. The pre-96 contaminants that are probably of concern are TCE and PCE plumes that were present in Wellfield from Plant 1, which were a result of dry cleaners in the 50s, dumping barrels of solvents in the back of the facilities and leaking containment. That was managed and mitigated through EPD action around that time period.
Sir, don't interrupt. You have your time to talk.
Yes,
all
sir,
right?
I'm sorry.
Thank you.
So those were managed and mitigated, either taken offline or treatment was done through aeration, carbon absorption. Those were cleared by the state. And any of them that were considered unusable were simply mothballed at the time. But that's a shallow well field. The PFAS contamination is an ongoing issue that all agencies are looking at right now. We have some in some of our wells. I think that is all publicly available on the state EPD website, following UCMR5 guidelines where we've sampled for those. What's occurred during the recent 2-year period is that the standard for groundwater is lowered to 4 ppt, 4 parts per trillion. My sort of reference for that is 1 gallon of water flowing by the city of Augusta and the Savannah River in the last 1,000 years. So we're looking for extremely small numbers now. Those regulations are being reviewed because the PFAS chemicals are present in all things, and the question is there a risk at 4 ppt? And our wells are below that. We also have a contingency program to install additional treatment if we were to find them at higher levels. So those are things that are mitigated that is not a concern for us in the city.
Thank you. Can I respond?
There's another colleague in the queue. If there's a question that pertains to, for a response, we'll give you the opportunity. Chair recognizes Commissioner Jordan Johnson.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Director Bynes, I have a question for you. When is the last time we've had a robust study done to discuss what Mr. Dixon is talking about? And I only ask that question because I've heard this from, obviously, Mr. Dixon a few times. I've heard it from a pastor came up here once before and said that we had some issues. And believe it or not, the Department of Health and one of our medical centers here did a study and showed some of the similar things. So I am starting to kind of perk up a little bit. When is the last time we've had a robust study done to see if what these entities are saying is in fact true or not?
We pull routine samples on a weekly basis out of the whole distribution system, annual, biannual lead testing. We also do, though, again, the UCMR5, which is a unregulated contaminant monitoring suite that's put out by the state and the federal agency every 3 years. We follow all of those guidelines. We do routine flushing of the system in areas where we know the water's stagnant because there's not a lot of demand to make sure the chlorine residual stays high so that you have low microbial content. We pull bacterial plates for that all the time and we check them. We routinely run, I would have to get you the number of samples, but it's all published in our consumer confidence report, which will be on the website in about another month. It's being translated right now. So we published the English version, but that information is publicly available. And anybody that comes down and says there's an issue, I'll be willing to sit down and talk with them, go through it. I'll be willing to address any specific issue anybody has about the water system.
And that would also give us what we're looking for as far as testing the air quality and things of that nature too? Because I know in East Augusta, you have a pretty big cancer rate down there because of those plants, I'd imagine. So would the air quality also be something that we test in your department?
Air quality falls under a different group. I specifically speak to the water. I can't speak enough about the overall air quality and management in the city to be informed about it. So I would be speaking outside my area of expertise.
Okay. All right. Thank you.
All right, Mr. Dixon, I'm going to give you 30 seconds just to follow up, all right? 30 seconds.
So where I pull the PFAS data for our city water, I'm not talking about well water. It is in our finished tap water. And that is where the EPA and EPD itself has shown that our levels are extremely high in certain areas. And while they might not be fully throughout the entire city ubiquitously, they are extremely high in given areas. And the EPA has provided that data directly to you, and at last November was here speaking about that exact issue.
Thank you, sir.
I just want to clarify.
Thank you so much. Mr. Bonds, Director Bonds, thank you so much.
Yeah.
Mr. Dixon, thank you for being here, sir.
Sir,
all right. I think that concludes it. Thank you so much.
All right, have a wonderful day.
Thank you. You do the same. Madam Clerk, we got, ladies and gentlemen, one more delegation item.
That takes us to item E, Delegation E. Mr. Moses Todd, I Love Augusta. Discuss no splash, no splosh.
Thank you so much. Mr. Todd, you know the drill, sir. Name, address for the record.
Moses Todd, 47 Deansbridge Road, Augusta, Georgia.
Thank you so much. You have 5 minutes, sir.
Yes, sir. First of all, let me make a comment in reference to blueberries. They're from I Love Augusta and the Pecan Barn, not necessarily Moses Todd. It's the group that I represent. Approximately 3 years ago, 4 years ago, I Love Augusta, or it might be 4.5 years ago, I Love Augusta started a PR campaign for a water park for Augusta, Georgia. We looked at Statesboro and the Boroughs, which is a county-run, very successful county-run water park. And we looked at Cobb County Water Park and some other water parks. We done the PR work, spent several $1,000s to get the PR work done and to get it pushed forward in the priorities as far as the Special Purpose Local Option Sales Tax 8. I'm very thankful for the publicity that Channel 6 News gave us, WJBF, in doing this initiative. We spent quite less than that for a sign that we moved around. We wanted to keep it under the $500 that we would have to report as far as pushing the issue. So we done one big sign and had it moved around the county, or especially South Richmond County, to do the campaign side of that initiative. And I Love Augusta and Moses Todd believe that, and I'm told by others, that the success of Special Purpose Local Option Sales Tax 8 passing by approximately 70% was the water park. You know, as former Commissioner Marion Williams says, it was something to jazz it up or excite folks. Our former administrator, Odie Donnie, when he was here, you know, and he was the administrator that put it in the priorities for the commission at that time to decide on, called it seed money for water park, $5 million in the referendum, and that we should look for a P3 partner to push this initiative and do the water park. I know since then this commission has changed, and there's different individuals and personalities on the commission. But I think that the voters have spoken by voting for the water park. I certainly would, there was discussion approximately a year ago, this past April, I think it was a year ago, in reference on putting it into special purpose local sales tax 9 and what that dollar amount should be. I Love Augusta proposed approximately $5 million. There was talk on the dais about doing $10 to $14 million. No problem with that, you know, as far as I was concerned. When the priorities was put together, it seems that the water park didn't make the priority list, priority 9. Certainly that's up to this commission on whether it makes the priority list or not. On whether we do a water park or not, I think you're buying by the vote of a referendum. Now, my position on it is that I spent money to kind of make this happen in a Splash 8. If we're not going to do it in Splash 9, my position is no splash, which means the water park, no splash.
Yeah, 1 minute.
Yeah, I don't need it. I've said all I want to say. No splash, no.
All right. You walking away. We got a few colleagues in the queue here. They may have some questions for you.
Interesting because normally I'm ignored.
Well, I guess the blueberries work today.
Well,
all right.
It's something that, Mr. Mayor, it's something that we'll do every year.
All right.
And whether you agree with me or not, and you'll have pecans coming in November, like you've had the last several years.
All right. Chair recognizes Mayor Pro Tem Wayne Guilfoyle.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Mrs. Todd, thank you for coming for us. I think Tuesdays and Thursdays are commonplace right there behind that podium, I noticed, between here and the Charter Review Committee. But on this I Love Augusta discussed no splash, no splosh. The whole original design of the $5 million, that was for seed money to attract a company to come in and do us like a splash barrel, what you have always been advocating. There has been no takers. And for us to add another $15, $20 million on top of it, a splash money where we actually had $1 billion, fortunately our administrator had reduced it down to $328 million, I believe, $428. And as of today, it increased again, but we still got to get the number down. We got to be cautious and conscious of how the money is utilized. If we can't find anybody to operate this big water park, we can't even maintain our local swimming pools, our aquatic center, and in our Splosh, we have money in for the aquatic center just so we could renovate it because we ain't been doing a good job of maintaining. How do you feel if we do a big, like a bigger splash pad and use that money for that? Because if not, we just got to sit around and let that money sit in that little account and hope and dream that somebody will come and say, hey, I'll be willing to build it. You give me the $5 million and I'll operate it.
Mr. Mayor Pro Tem, I hope, I'm not as dumb as I look.
Nobody said you were, sir.
And so my question would be to the administrator, have you gone out to seek those P3 participants? I know that you had an unsolicited proposal for a pickleball and tennis court.
That's correct.
And so in that, I reached out to Dr. Aiken on whether he would be interested. And he said he didn't have the experience or knowledge of that.
He actually reached out to us
yes.
to do the pickleball. We didn't reach out to him to do a public-private partnership.
That was my statement. Unsolicited meaning he
right.
reached out to you, yes. So have you solicited anyone? This is for the commissioners up there back of the dais. Have you solicited anyone or put it out there that you're looking for anyone?
I have, to be truthful, Mr. Todd, I don't have a clue because it was put on the splosh. It was actually passed before when I was even here. So I don't know what the body decision was at the time. You probably would because you pay attention to what this board does every week, every day. So, Madam Administrator, I know that you just coming on board. Have we in the past did any solicitation to try to find somebody to look at this, used $5 million as seed money?
Not to my knowledge, sir.
Okay. Can we reach out to the CVB or somebody like that to try to advocate to attract somebody?
Yes, we've had some discussions with Destination Augusta, and I know they're here with us today, so I don't want to put Benish on the spot, but he is, based on our conversation previously, maybe a couple of months ago, wasn't it, Benish, we talked about it?
I think it was.
Yeah.
Mr. Mayor.
Yeah. Let me finish on this big splash pad. Absolutely not. Now, the suggested location was Diamond Lakes.
Yes,
that was
sir.
suggested. That wasn't in concrete. So I Love Augusta would be open to do the water park with Whitewater, combination with Whitewater down on Broad Street if we want to do that. On I-20 off Bobby Jones. But the bottom line is to not do it at all, then expect this community to go back and vote for another special purpose local option sales tax with, just renovations for pools and some flash pads. That's not acceptable.
Well, I mean, the whole concept was to do quality of life and have things for children, I believe, sir.
It was to do quality of life and have things for the citizens of Augusta, Richmond County, not necessarily children. So I would imagine at 70 now, I would probably enjoy being out there in that splash pad more than I would in that slide coming down a water park.
Mr. Mayor, can we listen to hear from Benish Brown, please?
Yes, sir. Benish, you done got drawn into this now. I don't know if you're ready or not.
I don't know if I am, Mayor. But to Mayor and Mayor Pro Tem and the commissioners, we did one initial reach out. I did have a conversation with the administrator, and we just did a quick reach out to our counterparts in Statesboro. So I have not followed up on that. They were willing or are willing to at least provide to us the contractor that did that work. So if this is an ask you're formally asking of us, let me at least make that contact again and see where that leads us.
Thank you, Mr. Brown. Commissioner Pulliam, before I acknowledge you, I'm going to push and suggest that whatever happens needs to go to South Augusta. Those folks have been asking for it. They've been expecting it. And Diamond Lakes, I think, is a more than appropriate place because the citizens out there deserve some sort of activity. I've heard from numerous people that they'd love to have a splash pad or some sort of activity to really engage the kids at. Or something, water park, whatever it is, bring them something. And I think there's a perfect opportunity to have a discussion about how we can at least deliver a $5 million something instead of letting that money sit in the bank and just grow interest. You mentioned it. Splash State, we promised to deliver something. If we don't have the ability of delivering a water park, it makes no sense for that money to sit there. And I think the residents of South Augusta deserve something. So that would be my vote to put it somewhere in South Richmond. So, in any event, I have Commissioner Pulliam. Ma'am, you have the floor.
Thank you, Mayor Johnson. Thank you for your presentation, Mr. Todd. I greatly appreciate it. I have two questions. My first question is directed to Attorney Plunkett. Earlier today when we were having our SPLOST discussion, you mentioned having certain funds allocated to certain projects locks you into that project. So if this was in fact seed money that was being collected for this project, if we don't move forward with the project, what would happen to those funds?
Generally, what we try to do is modify the scope of the project and as opposed to abandon the project entirely. There's a fairly detailed number of steps to abandon a project. It takes a vote by this body to find that it was infeasible. And then after that, if I'm not mistaken, the funds goes to the same category. If the category has been exhausted and all the projects have been done, then it can ultimately go to pay general obligation debt. And then after that, it goes to reducing property taxes. But I'm not sure what's all in that category. But, I would think that, a splash pad versus a water park would be a reduction in that, and you could do that. And if there's monies left over, I think also today you were talking about increasing monies toward for that to increase the seed money to get more interest in it. So to your question, I think it is there. We would need to do the project in some capacity. Otherwise, there's a number of hurdles we need to jump through.
Okay, and that was the reason for my question, just making sure that we understand that that money was raised for or agreed upon for a certain project, and we don't take that money and try to allocate those funds to something else. My next question was, in the RFP process, I believe this is a question for the administrator. Administrator Allen, in the RFP process or in the looking for a partnership, would that go through Destination Augusta, or would that be something that we would do through an RFP here?
The city could actually do a process to see if there's anybody who's interested in partnering with the city of Augusta for that park. The reason we had the discussion with Destination Augusta is because that was something that was previously done, and they had already made contact with the people in Statesboro.
Okay, so that's just one company that they sought after, is the company in Statesboro. But if we did an RFP, then it would be a much broader scope as far as our reach is concerned?
Yes, ma'am. It would. I don't think it'd necessarily be an RFP, but it'd be something sort of on that line to solicit proposals. Yes, ma'am. And I think to Destination Augusta, it was not necessarily to see if we can utilize them, but just to get some information so we'll know what we're looking at doing if we did decide to go down that road.
Okay. Thank you.
Welcome.
Thank you, Commissioner Pulliam. Chair recognizes Commissioner Tony Lewis from the 6th. You have the floor, sir.
Thank you, Mayor Johnson. Commissioner Todd, I'd like to thank you for your advocacy in bringing this subject up, and you do it quite often. And I think you're absolutely right. With the last Splash Project package that was allocated, it did have some money put in for the splash water park. And and I'm looking at Splash 9, and I'm looking at a lot of projects in Splash 9, and I don't see anything that's in Splash 9 to continue with the water park. But I do see new projects in there in Splash 9, and one of those projects is, and I'm just going to pick out one, a veteran cemetery. And I think it's proposed for about $23 million. Beg your pardon? I think 23 million.
The request has been for $3 million, Commissioner Lewis.
It's 23 for the total. Okay.
Yes, sir. 23 for the total, but the request as part of SPLOST 9 is $3 million.
Okay, thank you. $3 million.
Yes, sir.
So,
and for the record, that ask was removed today. They asked to delete that request as part of SPLOST 9.
Good. Okay, good. I was just going to let Commissioner Todd know that I have a son that's veteran, Afghanistan. You're a veteran. I have family members that are veteran. I have nothing against, veterans and veteran cemetery, but I did have a problem with us spending the kind of money that we would be asked to spend, and the state would actually have would occupy or have all rights to that particular cemetery when we have something that we can actually put money toward. When we talk about a quality of life for every Augustan and not just some people, cemetery would only allow certain people to be entombed or buried in the cemetery, but a water park will allow everybody access to it. So, You know, I just wanted to make that, and I want to thank you for your strong advocacy and continue to push this in the direction that we need to go to make this a reality, or to make it, bring it into fruition when it comes down to this water park. Again, I just want to thank you.
Mr. Mayor, if I could follow up a few seconds.
Yes, sir. 30 seconds like I did Mr. Dixon. I don't want him to say I gave you any extra time. 30
I don't
seconds,
think Mr.
sir.
Dixon would have a problem with that.
Okay.
Hey, look, Orangeburg County has a water park that's run by the YMCA Columbia, South Carolina. There's other P3 partners or entities that run water parks. I reached out early on to the YMCA. I don't know whether they still have the same CEO now. It's been a couple of years, on whether they would have an interest in operating water park, and I was told yes. The Trop Center, you know, they're a national organization. They may have an interest. So if you need some help finding someone, just let me know. You know, I have cash and willing to travel, or will travel, to do whatever it takes to make this thing happen. And I think the citizens of Augusta, Richmond County deserve it. And I think before we support another special purpose local option sales tax, we got to have a commitment from this commission that's pushing that sales tax that the water park is going to eventually happen. Thank you.
Thank you, former Commissioner Todd. Thank you for being here. No other colleagues in the queue. Madam Clerk, I think that does conclude our delegation portion.
Yes, sir.
All right. That takes us to the regular agenda items. We need to move on to, as I've been requested. And those of you who were here at our last committee meeting, the administrative services, we didn't have a quorum. So we're going to try to move through that list for those that have been waiting for a while. We're going to start with item number 34, Madam Clerk.
You're going to 34?
Number 34.
Item 34, update NV5 PAC project.
Thank you so much. Interim Director.
Good afternoon. It had been some questions concerning next steps in our PAC project as it relates to oversight of making sure the equipment and the installation that we did will be overseen. I have our consultant here, NV5, Ruth Gay with NV5, who's worked heavily and on a day-to-day basis with this project. And she's going to give us an update on their responsibility that they had.
We just lost quorum. We just lost quorum, so I don't know who's chairing, but can you recess until we get quorum? Or suspend until we get quorum?
Mr. Johnson, you would be suspended regardless.
Good to know. Thank you. Well, I don't think I'll go find somebody. Lost quorum.
Brandon is still on the phone.
Oh, is he? Is this on the phone?
Mr. Garrett, you're still on?
Yes, I'm still here.
Okay.
He's there.
Well, you
Okay, thank you. So we have our consultant, NV5, here, who will do a small presentation on their role in the project and what they will be doing moving forward. So I'll turn that over to Ruth Gay with NV5 now.
Thank you. Commissioner Johnson, you'll want to wait till after she does her presentation?
Oh, I'm
All right, thank you. It's your floor.
Good afternoon, commissioners and the city of Augusta. My name is Ruth Gay from NV5. I've been serving the city of Augusta as an ESPC owner's rep since 2021. So thank you for inviting me to provide a brief update on the Energy Savings Performance Contract, also called ESPC or PACT. Thank you to Ron Lampkin and Maria Rivera for your enthusiastic support and participation to make this project a success. Train completed an investment grade audit for the City of Augusta in the spring of 2021 to review the city facilities to find projects that would save energy. After a thorough review by NV5, the city moved forward with the ESPC project in spring 2022. This ESPC saves energy by installing measures such as LED lighting, weatherization, chillers, HVAC units, HVAC controls. We were also able to fit in a couple of solar PV projects, which all of you have seen as you came in and parked today. That was as a part of this project. The reduced energy costs are used to pay for the financing of those energy saving measures for a budget neutral project. And the community benefits from the elimination of emissions from power plants and fossil fuels that would have been consumed had the city continued to use that energy that is now saved with the project. NV5 has extensive experience with ESPCs. We are well versed in industry best practices and know how to protect the customer's best interests. NV5 has so far audited the engineer calculations, fine-tuned the contract and project scope, participated in the construction process to ensure Augusta is getting what they signed up for, and while also helping manage costs along the way. At this point, the project is being reviewed to determine if all deliverables have been provided and punch list items have been taken care of. After construction is complete and accepted, Train will verify that the ECMs are still installed and operating as intended. Train will provide measurement and verification reports, or M&V reports, every year, and NV5 will be on board to review those reports to ensure that they are technically sound, complete, and useful to demonstrate energy savings for the life of the contract. This $25 million contract is estimated to reduce energy costs by nearly $1.5 million per year. Train's job is to make sure those guaranteed savings are realized over the next 20 years. By providing technical review of the annual M&V reports for Augusta, as well as post-installation reports as we complete construction, NV5 will continue to make sure Train is doing their job in delivering the guaranteed energy savings. Do you have any questions?
Don't see any questions. You can continue.
That's it.
Is that it?
That
Okay.
was it.
Interim Director, you got anything? Well, I do. Commissioner, they're coming in the queue now. Commissioner Jordan Johnson.
Thank you,
From the
thank you,
first.
thank you. And so, Ms., your name again, I'm sorry.
Ruth Gay.
Ms. Gay, I know we had some conversations a few months ago about this, and thank you for coming and speaking to us. Are you satisfied as our consultant with the work that has been going on so far and the cost savings that we are expected to have? I know when we asked what have been the savings so far, we were told that there weren't any real savings, that things have just kind of been offset a little bit. So are you pretty confident in the direction that this program is going?
I am, and based on my experience with dozens of other projects, basically one of the most common questions that we have from owners and clients is, well, I don't see the savings on my energy bill. And that's simply a factor of what you would have been using versus what you are using now. So basically, the energy savings are calculated based on industry best practices, based on engineering equations, understanding of systems. For lighting, for instance, you're looking at the wattage before versus the wattage after, and it's a very clear calculation. NV5 is verifying those calculations. They verified them in the IGA phase, and they're going to verify it again in the M&V phase, which is the phase that we're entering into now, the performance phase.
Okay. And the cost that we're paying, is it a decent cost for the services that we've been getting?
Yes, NV5 reviewed all the costs for reasonableness. We've been reviewing every single payment application that comes through and making sure that what they're charging us for is what they're doing. NV5 has been tracking the change orders to ensure that the change orders make sense and are reasonable in price. So we've been coming alongside Augusta to ensure that the contract is worth your money. And I wanted to focus on this one slide here that from the beginning, we were able to save $218,000 because Trane was proposing these bipolar ionization devices, which we did not recommend that the city of Augusta go forward with, as they don't save energy, they use more energy, and they also produce ozone. So we removed that from the contract. That was put into the contingency to be able to be spent on stuff like the track lightings. It was that at Diamond Lakes. At Diamond Lakes.
Okay.
As well as there's building envelope scope. About $255,000 have been removed from scope, from building envelope scope. That was not enough savings for what you were putting into it. So a decision was made to remove that scope so that we could direct it into other items. And in all, the contingency has been stretched to the point of the final scope changes are only at 1.5%, which I think is fabulous.
Okay, good stuff. Thank you.
Any other questions?
Thank you, Commissioner Johnson. Chair recognizes Commissioner Francine Scott from the 9th.
Thank you, Mayor Johnson. I have one quick question. On one of your slides, it had training of staff. Have that been completed? Have it started? And where are we?
Yes, right now we're trained, our staff has been doing BAS training, which is for the automated system, learning to go into the system on the computer, on their iPads or laptops to understand and adjust what's going on, to catch those alerts. Once they get familiarized with that, I've also spoken with training today to give us some training on our small equipment as well. You got to realize we install some large equipment, which was our chillers and our boilers. That takes years of training to get to that point. I don't know when we'll get to that point, but we are working on those things as well.
And part of that training is actually happening right now. They're going to be doing a full handover of all the O&M manuals and cut sheets, equipment cut sheets for the new equipment, so that the staff at the city of Augusta can be familiar with the products that are installed.
Thank you so much, Commissioner Scott. Chair recognizes Mayor Pro Tem Wayne Guilfoyle.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. So as far as MV5, as Trane being the contractor for Augusta, Richmond County, putting up all these lights, et cetera, they don't make a move without you overseeing it. Is that correct? Your company overseeing it?
Yes.
All right, so we actually had some change orders come up before us earlier this year. And that's something that you all do look at and approve before Mr. Lampkin brings it to this body?
We discuss it in meetings, in the construction meetings on an ongoing basis.
Okay, but you do have to put your seal of approval on it.
It depends on what the change orders are, but we're involved in the process.
Okay, but there's not a move that Trane makes without y'all's aware of it?
Basically, yes.
Okay, because we had a former commissioner that keeps coming before us. I don't know if they question MV5 or they question them Trane on the process, stating that MV5 is not aware of these change orders and all. So y'all are aware, and I definitely appreciate y'all overseeing this projects.
They provide a change order log to us, which is updated on a regular basis. Whenever they provide a payment application to us for invoicing, they also, if there's a change order that's affecting that invoice, then they provide a new copy of the change order log. And every time they add something to the change order log, they're providing us with a copy.
All right, thank you. Thank you for your presentation.
Thank you, Mayor Pro Tem. Interim Director Lampkin, I don't see any other colleagues in the queue, so I'm going to ask that, and thank you for that presentation that we received. This is information without objection. Seeing or hearing none, it's received. Thank you so much for being here today, ma'am.
Thank you. Thank you.
Madam Clerk, at the request of another special request, we're going to move on to item number 33, please. 33.
Item 33, receive an update from the GIC team on July 15th. Commissioner Stacy Pulliam.
You got it. Thank you so much. Commissioner Pulliam, you want to tee us off with this?
Yes, thank you so much, Mayor Johnson. As the GIC presenters are headed up to the podium, I'd like to open us up by saying GIC stands for Georgia Initiative for Community Housing, and it is something that I don't know if this sounds bad, but I'm extremely proud of. Because housing is that thing that we are consistently talking about, a shortage of housing, as well as how do we, not recreating the wheel, but actually going out and getting with communities that are doing this and doing it successfully. And GIC has allowed us to do that. So without further ado, I have Ms. Portia Beasley, who is actually the speaker for GIC, as well as Ms. Solomon, who is one of the GIC members. And Portia, did you send that email? You forwarded it?
Yes, ma'am. I just sent it.
Just sent it, okay. Because Ms. Natasha is out, Ms. Bonner, I had Ms. Beasley just forward you the presentation because we need to post it or put it on the presenter. But it was sent to your email, Ms. Bonner. Should we forward it to another email?
Yes, please.
Okay.
Let me see.
Thank you for your patience, everyone.
How we coming down there? No pressure.
Just another minute or two.
Okay.
You want to sing a song, Mr. Mayor?
After you, sir. You lead us off.
While they're pulling that up, I do want to give a shameless plug and shout out to the GIC team, the core team, which many of them are here on today. We did have some representatives from the neighborhood as well that they had to leave, but we do still have some of our team members here. We have Mr. Calray with EDA, as well as Director Sean Edwards with the Land Bank Authority. And when I tell you when things are put together and they're put together the right way, we've got some great private-public partnerships. We have amazing people on our team that are so dedicated. Figuring out housing is that thing the whole nation is trying to figure out. So when you have people that are willing to learn as you go and they're patient. We also have Mr. Will over there. I'm sorry, I overlooked him. And he's with Habitat for Humanity. But we have a team that's dedicated to being patient. That's the way I'm going to say it, because this takes a lot of patience, especially as you're trying to put together a plan that is just a blueprint, but you have that faith that this blueprint is one day going to serve the entire city of Augusta. So thank you so much to the GIC team. You are so appreciated. I appreciate every single one of you.
Marcia Johnson, you ready to start singing?
I don't think I want to put the city through that trauma.
There we go.
Okay, Ms. Beasley and Ms. Solomon, take it away.
Is it moving? All right. Okay, good afternoon, everyone. Good afternoon, Mayor, Commissioners, City Administrator. I'm Portia C. Beasley. I'm the team speaker for the Augusta GIG Housing Team. Thank you for allowing us to provide this update on the strides we've made towards strengthening Augusta's housing landscape, especially in communities like Turpin Hill. It's important to note that this is not solely a city initiative. GIG represents a collaborative partnership between the City of Augusta and the community, working together to assess housing needs and strategize solutions that serve our people effectively. I did want to highlight several things and provide you all with pretty much a grand scheme overview of what we're looking like at present. That being Turpin Hill, the City of Augusta, as well as the GIG initiative. First, I wanted to highlight that the need is undeniable. Over 24,000 individuals remain on local housing wait lists. In January of 2024, 12,299 people applied for Section 8 in just 4 days. Out of that number, only 1,500 were selected. Augusta faces an annual shortfall of 8,600 units. Residents earning the median income, which is $27,467, fall short by nearly $13,000 to afford the median rent of $1,121. Just want to let that numerically sink in. The focus on Turpin Hill. The median income is $34,000 a year. 70% of the residents there are renters. The average home values remain low, but prices are rapidly rising. Our team, in partnership with UGA, will conduct a windshield assessment. Yes, we'll conduct a windshield assessment this fall. I was vetoed about doing it in August because apparently it's hot. So the windshield assessment will take place in fall to guide planning and investment strategies. The Turpin Hill Neighborhood Association has also stepped up drastically by providing priorities, full-on documents of the needs of their community that focus around the need for youth services, elderly care, and green spaces. So we have a great visibility in the community, and I believe that we have made vast strides with community empowerment and visibility. We host quarterly community meetings, and they are, for the most part, well attended. We do have a few moments where, due to the holidays and traveling and things, we don't have the best turnouts, but the majority of the time we do have really good turnouts. The Neighborhood Association is now organizing independent events. They had an amazing event back in April, I believe it was, with increased resident engagement. They also have calling posts and newsletters, and they manually go around and knock the doors to make sure that the community is aware of what's going on with GIG specifically in their community. We've raised awareness through media outreach, local news coverage, interviews, newspaper articles, and social media presence. We do have some strategic partnerships. We formed a strong partnership with the UGA faculty and their students alongside GIG alumni and the junior classes within Gainesville, Canton, and Gwinnett counties. But as Gainesville is more of a sister city, they're entitlement city just like us, we're working a little more closely with them because, we mirror. And they're making great strides. This collaboration supports data collection, planning, discovery of funding opportunities, and identifying partners for future implementation. Other cities across Georgia have achieved remarkable outcomes. Again, these are GIG communities. Gwinnett County has invested $21 million in its Affordable Housing Development Fund, completing 381 units and launching 414 more. Of those underway, 292 are rental units and 122 are for ownership. These efforts showcase what's possible when local commitment is paired with strategic planning and resources. Gwinnett County's hotel acquisition initiative converted an extended stay hotel into a 73 affordable unit focused property for seniors, homeless youth, and foster care transitions. The city of Chamblee successfully repurposed the former Georgia Department of Revenue building for housing. And the city of Canton launched a multi-phase revitalization efforts ranging from recreation-based townhome development to neighborhood engagement, fundraising, and targeted housing rehabilitation. All of these, again, were achieved by way of the GIG housing teams and the initiative in those respective communities. Something I kind of want to live a little bit rent-free in your heads when I walk away is the specific mention of the Housing Development Fund. That was a creative, at least we thought it was creative, how different organizations came together and kind of all put funds in the pot. It was private, city, and some others. They put funds in the pot to reach that number versus, diminishing one or two organizations within the city. So I thought that was interesting, and we might try to steal that. We have made, again, a lot of progress from our work plan. We get a work plan every 6 months when we go to the retreats. We have a fall and spring retreat. So the progress from our work plan, we have focused on ordinance and coding reviews, including ADUs, of which we know that has already been passed. Thank you. Other code and ordinance items are still in review, and that's in motion. Continued outreach to engage younger residents and empower the Turpin Hill Neighborhood Association is underway, as many of the more vocal members are aging out because they're in their 70s, 80s. Yes. The Land Bank Authority and Tax Commissioner's Office have shown a willingness to assist in identifying potential opportunities for land acquisition and reinvestment, particularly to support the infield and long-term affordability in Turpin Hill. And we've also provided information and resources on the heirs property issue, as that's a tremendous issue in the Turpin Hill community and really across 30901 and 30904. So we have introduced ways and means of how to remedy it and avoid it. And lastly, I wanted to highlight the LIHTC's proven impact with GIC. LIHTC is the low-income housing tax credit. Funding has been essential to Augusta's revitalization projects in the past. For example, Walton Oaks, Walton Green, the villages at Meadowbrook. I'm sure you all have heard of those three at least. These projects would not have been possible without LIHTC support, and GIC participation makes Augusta more competitive for future LIHTC awards. I also would like to highlight that little bit as well. Small flex. Challenges that we still must prepare for is not directly a part of GIC, but it still affects GIC and Augusta. We still have 250 plus emergency shelter beds that are still needed. Rent rose a whopping 21% in 2023. It's the sharpest jump in over 40 years, and it is still rising. With just 951 homes on market as of June, supply remains low and the competition is high. In closing, I'd just like to say, we are proud of the traction we've gained. through community trust, partnerships, and strategic planning. While today's presentation is simply an update, we recognize that ongoing collaboration and eventual city support will be vital as we move from planning into implementation. Together, we can ensure Augusta's housing future is equitable, attainable, and sustainable for everyone. Any questions?
Madam, thank you for your presentation. Commissioner Pulliam, is there anything additional you'd like to add?
Nothing I'd like to add. This was an update so that everyone, my colleagues on the dais, as well as the general public, you know what we're working on. It's a lot of work that's put into this and a lot of countless hours, but also for you to see real live numbers. I think I've proven that I'm a fact-based person, and so numbers don't lie. And there were a lot of numbers that were presented, and some of them were astounding, to be honest. And so for people that are not in the housing market right now and you've owned your homes for a very long time or just recently purchased, you know how difficult it is. And so when we look at average and median income, we need help. Our citizens need a lot of help. We can no longer ignore that. It's going to be a collective effort to help individuals. And we're talking about individuals that work for the city of Augusta. We're talking about individuals that work at Lowe's and Home Depot. We're talking about individuals that service you on a monthly basis, whether they're your landscapers, et cetera. And so we really need to step back and look at real numbers. And if you had to move out of your home on today, would you be able to afford your house? And that is just truth. And so look at the numbers don't lie. And so thank you so much to the GIC team. We're gonna move full speed ahead, and this is something that we will continue on. But no additional questions. Thank you so much for your presentation, Ms. Beasley and Ms. Solomon, and thank you for your hard work.
Thank you, guys. Keep up the great work. Appreciate your presentation. Colleagues, can we receive this as information without objection? No objection, Madam Clerk. Madam Clerk, we're gonna move up one more. We have I'll tell you what, we're gonna move up a couple more because we're gonna go to number 30 because Mr. Lawrence Brandon, last committee cycle, stayed here after 5 o'clock. And he didn't get an opportunity to do his presentation. So Mr. Brandon, thank you for your patience.
That's it, it's right here.
Yes, sir, you can. Do you need that to be turned on? All right, we're gonna get you, there you go. He's gonna get you some technical help. Appreciate your patience. All right, whenever that comes up, we'll be ready in just a second. Right. If you want to go ahead and start, you're more than welcome, sir. I think for the record, you need to state your name and address, please.
Lawrence Brandon, 445 Field Street,
Richard.
Georgia, 30.
He has it on the screen.
Yeah, he wants
30901.
Okay. All right. Wait a second. We're gonna get you we're gonna get you on the screen.
Hey, you got some scribbly stuff on there. Just pay attention to the text. Yeah.
All right.
All right.
You have the floor, sir.
All right. Thank you, Mr. Mayor. May it please.
Let's call him. Let me call him, and then he can speak.
You're gonna, okay.
Mr. Lawrence Brennan, relative to a person with criminal histories to Section 1-40 of Article 5, Chapter 1, and laws of local application under Augusta Richmond Code.
All right, Mr. Brandon, now you have 5 minutes, sir.
All right, thank you, Mr. Mayor. May it please this commission. Today, I am renewing my request to add the following language: persons with criminal histories, not to include persons convicted of violent felonies as defined by Georgia law, who have completed all court-imposed sentences and have been free from criminal involvement within 3 years of applying for employment, to Section 140 of Article 5, Chapter 1 of Charter and Laws of Local Application under Augusta Richmond Code. Before making the official request, I would like to cover a few things. First, can a statute be amended even though a committee is reviewing the charter and preparing to propose changes? Yes. Why? Because the charter is still a living document. It has not ceased to function simply because the Charter Review Committee is in the process of developing a new one. Let us proceed. Will the process be complicated? No. How simple will the process be? Once I complete this presentation, a member of this body makes a motion to move this item for a full vote of approval. Let us proceed. Why not the Charter Review Committee? Because this body has the power today to approve this proposal, and I know it has the power, and have it included in the current charter, which is still active. And when the Charter Review Committee reaches this section affected by this language, they can gather public input and make the recommendation on whether it should remain, be amended further, or abolished altogether. Let us proceed. Will any person, group, or business suffer injury if this proposal is adopted? No, not one person, group, or business will suffer injury if this proposal is adopted. Let us proceed. Who benefits from the adoption of this proposal? Persons with criminal histories who do not have any violent felonies, have completed all court-imposed sentences, and have maintained a law-abiding lifestyle for at least 3 years. And 2, Augusta, Richmond County, because multiple studies have revealed that recidivism is down in areas where the laws such as the one I'm proposing exist. Let us proceed, and this is the big one. How much will adopting this proposal cost Augusta, Richmond County taxpayers? Nothing. Not $1, not 1 quarter, not 1 dime, not 1 nickel, not 1 penny. To conclude, let us perform a quick recap. Can this proposal be adopted? Yes. How can this proposal be adopted? A member of this body making a motion to move this proposal to a full vote. Why not the Charter Review Committee? Because as of today, this body possesses the power to approve this proposal and have it included in the charter that is still living. Then it will be left up to the Charter Review Committee to not disturb the affected statute. Will the adoption of this proposal cause injury to any person, group, or business? No. Will adopting this proposal benefit some persons with criminal histories and by extension Augusta, Richmond County as a whole? Presumably, yes. Will adopting this proposal cost Augusta and Richmond County taxpayers any money? No. If there's any objections to anything that I've stated thus far, then the opposing party should go on record today and state the objection and state the objection and the law that supports the objection. Now, I remind this body that I have been at this for over 1.5 years, beginning January 2024. And for the life of me, I do not understand why on a continuum the can has been kicked down the road, but I have an idea why. If it was the sheriff bringing this proposal, if it was the solicitor bringing this proposal, if it was the district attorney bringing this proposal, or as I learned within an 11th hour text, and I suspect the public will see in the coming weeks, if it were friends of members of this commission bringing this proposal will be approved and the statute amended before any of them left the chamber. And everyone will be standing right in the middle of the chamber in front of that panel, taking a wonderful picture saying, look at what we're doing for the city of Augusta. But because this is me bringing this proposal, because I do not have the popularity that friends of some commissioners of this commission have, because I do not have political clout, because accepting this proposal as presented by me does not come with a political incentive, because I'm viewed as just a common citizen not worthy of being at this podium.
All right, you got 1 minute, sir.
I'm almost done, sir. The request has not received any serious consideration. That's the message that this body has sent me during over 1.5 years that I have been at this. Over 1.5 years I have been at this. Over 1.5 years. And y'all know what's coming down the pike. Y'all know what's coming down the pike. Yet I am still here with the same request. Today I am requesting that this body not receive this presentation as information. Rather, I am requesting that this proposal receive sincere consideration, that a member of this body make a motion to move this proposal to a full vote for approval and adoption. If that is not possible, then I request that a member of this body make a motion to submit this proposal to interim general counsel to use as a baseline for developing a proposal or ordinance that will insulate the local government from willy-nilly frivolous lawsuits while ensuring that qualifying persons with criminal histories do receive some form of protection from employment discrimination. Because we know that once you establish a protected class, it opens the city up to liability. So that's why interim general counsel, if he can come up with a solution, then I'm not requesting y'all take this where I am, but I know you're not. But I'm asking that you send it to interim general counsel to use as a baseline to develop something that would insulate this body. All right.
Thank you, sir. You're over time.
All right.
Mr. Brandon, let me say that, when we were part of the Biden-Harris Workforce Initiative, one of the barriers of entry to a good, stable job were people that had felonies on their record as a result of nonviolent offenses that, prevented them from getting good jobs. And some of them, as you state, were, in my opinion, something that could have been resolved. So I don't mind having general counsel kind of look at your proposal and this idea to see how we could work in that direction. I don't mind any of my colleagues willing to take on the idea of entertaining a motion. But I agree with you that in some instances, there may be some people that just took a wrong path in their earlier years, and it's prohibiting them from pathways to good paying jobs. And I think that should be addressed. How we address it, I don't know, but we're going to go through the queue. There's one colleague in the queue, and we're going to probably ask our general counsel to take a serious look at this and see how, if it's something that the city of Augusta can adopt. So, Chair recognizes Commissioner from the first, Commissioner Jordan Johnson.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. I want to go on record and share that that work is already being done. The first time that Mr. Brandon brought this before the commission, we talked to general counsel about starting the process of having a protected class ordinance being drafted or some type of amendment to our ban-the-box policy to get us to this place. There's just been constant accusations of politics holding this up. But, I mean, commissioners and folks who make policy understand that it's just not as easy as writing something down and bringing it back the next week. And so that work has already been done. Exactly what Mr. Brandon is saying is being looked into at this very moment. And within the next few weeks, this commission will have something to review. Mr. Brandon is aware of that. And I will hope that, again, we will be able to have a robust conversation about what this could mean for the city. We were all up here when we had the discussion about ban-the-box, when Judge Craig came up and spoke about ban-the-box, when the jail population committee spoke about it. We were all up here. We were all aware of it. And it's just taking time. But I will say this, what Mr. Brandon is speaking on, it has a lot of validity to it because we do know that people who have gone through the criminal legal system have a hard time finding employment once they have, are done doing their time and get off the papers. It's really tough for them to get their lives back on track. So I am in no way, disregarding what Mr. Brandon is speaking of. But I want to just speak to the record that this is coming before the commission, and we will have ample opportunity to speak about it and speak and go from there.
Commissioner, wait just a second. Commissioner Johnson, can you enlighten this commission as to when it's coming and under what?
Well, I don't have that much control, but what I will say is that once this body went to the table and said we wanted to further review this, I do believe that drafts were created. And so I would say probably within the next couple of weeks, we're going through SPLOST, we're going through budget and everything else, but certainly we can chew bubble gum and walk at the same time. But I just wanted to speak for the record that this is not falling on deaf ears. Politics isn't stopping this proposal from moving forward. It's not about being well connected and none of that. The work is getting done, and we appreciate Mr. Brandon for sounding the alarm the way that he does so frequently and eloquently.
Thank you, Commissioner Johnson. Attorney Plunkett.
Mr. Mayor, just a couple things to follow up. Part of the issue I think that Mr. Brandon is referring to is he and I spoke, and one of the issues was with the charter review, if you were intending to put a protected class in, it could obviously go into that suggestion reviews, but I did not think that the Charter Review Committee would just willingly take such a policy issue on. I think I mentioned to Mr. Brandon that I have some concerns about a protected class issue because that could unintended open some doors for litigation that we may not want. But what I have done is after that conversation with the ban-the-box, I looked at some possible amendments to the PPPM, which would address a substantial part of what the issue is. They're in kind of a rough form, and obviously when Commissioner Johnson wants to move that forward, we can. But I want y'all to be aware that, Mr. Brandon's suggestions have not fallen on deaf ears, and some work actually has been done on this. So not everything is done, I don't want to say behind the scenes or whatever, but some of it's been done in this regard. And so I'm more than happy for y'all to direct me, but I think to some extent I've already done it.
Thank you, Attorney Plunkett. Commissioner Johnson, I'm going to ask that your effort, is there any way that your effort can work in conjunction with Mr. Brandon's?
It's the same effort, sir.
No, it's not.
It is.
No, it's not.
Okay. Wait a second. Wait a second. It's not a back and forth.
I won't go back and forth, I promise. But I'll just give you some background. The exact same language that is being presented is the exact same language that I plan to put on a committee cycle or two to discuss. And so the efforts are not duplicative, they're not different conversations. It's literally what you're seeing on the screen right now, sir. So I would say within the next few weeks or so. And then from there, of course, once this body starts, making ordinances, we tend to push them to workshops and work through them. Mr. Brannon and anyone else who has concerns should be a part of those meetings. And so the commission can have a robust conversation about how to get from point A to point B. But what I will also say is that each time that Mr. Brannon has brought a concern to the commission, whether it be band-in-box or paraphernalia in gas stations or anything in that regard, this commission has taken steps to look into them because they're valid. So Mr. Brannon will be a part of those conversations before any ordinance is passed. I can guarantee that. And I mean, again, that's not just me speaking, that's the process that the commission sets.
Thank you, Commissioner Johnson. Mr. Brandon, I'm going to give you a few seconds to wrap up now.
Yeah, I'm gonna wrap it up. That what he's talking about, he's bringing, that's that friends of friends that I'm talking about. You know that. That's that friends of friends that I'm talking about. This could have been taken care of. That what they're doing, that took place behind my back. And the only reason I know about it is because when I was about to make this presentation on July 8th, there was a person out there that stopped me. They didn't want me to make it because they felt like I would hurt the process. That's the only reason I know about this. And Commissioner Johnson knows that. Now, he can go on record today and sound sweet, but he knows what's really going on. These are his friends of friends that he's helping
Mr.
across the board.
Thank you so much for being here, sir. I appreciate it. Thank you so much. There's no other colleagues in the queue. Attorney Plunkett has stated that he's working through this process, and we're gonna continue to work through it. And we appreciate you being here, and we appreciate your fight in making this right for folks that need to re-enter the workforce and get a decent paying job. So it's not neglected that we recognize what your effort is and what you're trying to do. Just know that, okay? Thank you, sir. All right, Madam Clerk. We got to move around a little bit more. We got another request. We need to move back to number 2. Everybody's waiting. We're gonna get to it. We're gonna get to it next. We got a lot of people that were here for last committee cycle that stayed to the end of the meeting that we're trying to work through. So we're gonna get there. All right.
Is a request for concurrence with the Planning Commission to approve a petition by Southern Civil Solution on behalf of property developers requesting a rezoning from a zone R1A1 family residential and A agriculture to a zone R1E1 family residential to develop a town home community affecting properties on 3330 Gibson Road, 2346, 2358, and 4342 Old McDuffie Road.
All right, sir. Mr. Kepner? You got the floor, sir.
Yes, Mr. Mayor, commissioners. The applicants are here. The Planning Commission, in their recommendation to the Augusta Commission, reduced the number of townhomes to 225. The initial request was for 299. That's the main difference. And the applicants are here. They would like to keep that 299 townhomes.
Thank you so much. Commissioner Clark, this matters before us is you asked that it be pulled.
All right. Thanks for the clarity on that. So we did receive a recommendation from the Planning and Zoning. I want to make sure that we clarify appropriately what's going on with this one. This one, myself, Commissioner Scott as well, were very, very engaged in this process. We held probably about five different community meetings to really clarify this one. I want to make sure that everyone understands when we have a community meeting, when our community addresses concerns, and when developers or builders come into this and make concessions to address those. That's what these developers did in this regard. They made 3 different design changes and iterations strictly in line with the concerns that the community was bringing up. These folks have gone above and beyond to ensure that the community that they're aligning this residential property in understands that they want to be valued partners, but more importantly, they wanted to address the concerns that were brought up. 3 different design changes. Not even going to even address how many dollars that they have assessed from those changes with it. So there was an additional, so the staff gave a recommendation of how to move forward. And then at the end, there was an additional recommendation from the Planning Commission.
Yes, sir. The issue was the density.
Correct.
With 299 homes, that's approximately 6 dwelling units per acre.
Right.
With the reduction to 225, that's approximately 4.5 dwelling units per acre.
Yeah, but they were already within you all's guidelines and requirements and really had exceeded that, correct?
Correct, yes.
Yeah, so I want to go ahead and pull this one. I'm not going to belabor this one anymore. I just appreciate the developers on your consistency for working with the community, on your willingness and availability to have those conversations with the community and to make the necessary concessions that meets their needs and requests. We did have some of the community members that were here that wanted to, again, stand up and give their appreciation and support. I want to go ahead and make a motion with this one, specifically to go with the recommendations that our staff rendered, absent the additional recommendations from the Planning Commission.
All right, so the conditions that's in your packet references the 225 homes, so it will be changed to 299.
Yes, sir.
All right. Madam Clerk, the recommendation has been to go with the staff recommendation, and it's been proper seconded by Commissioner Wayne Guilfoyle. We're going to go through the CLEO here. Commissioner Francine Scott, you good? All right. Seeing no other colleagues in the queue, seeing no further discussion, Madam Clerk, we're ready to vote.
Commissioner Garrett, still on?
Mr. Garrett, are you still there?
I vote yes.
Thank you. That motion carries. It's unanimous.
Thank you, Madam Clerk. Commissioner Lewis has expressed a concern about some Charter Review Committee members here. We're going to move back to Administrative Services in item number 32.
Mr. Mayor, if you would, please. I would like to just move this to the next committee cycle because the chairwoman of the committee is not here. She's left. She's had to leave. And I have some direct questions for her. So,
You got it. All right. All right. So there's been a request to move this back to committee. Number 30. Yes, ma'am.
Yeah, whenever you can get her here.
Number 32. All right. Let's see where we're at here. Well, I guess we can just stick with number 31. I don't think that'd take very long. Madam Clerk, for the record, can you read 31 in, please? Number
Item 31, request the Administrator's Office provide the Sheriff and Judge McIntyre the cleanup schedules for the groups that were created.
Thank you, Madam Clerk. Commissioner Pulliam, if you don't mind, I could provide some context to this in that Operation City Cleanup is an initiative that's driven through the mayor's office in conjunction with state court, probation, municipal court, the sheriff's department, and the marshal's office. That cleanup schedule occurs at the recommendation of the sheriff's office based on them riding around town. It is held every Saturday. We did not hold an Operation City Cleanup this past Saturday because we didn't have anyone to show up, but I assume it was too hot. So I'm gonna have Jasmine Sims to come up, and she assists with running this program, and she'll be able to provide and answer any questions and provide context to its operation.
Thank you so much, Mayor Johnson. And thank you, Ms. Sims. My only request is this, that if there, as soon as you all receive a schedule, that we receive a schedule, that way we can know what's going on in our areas. One of the reasons is we know that we are short of crews to clean up areas. And so even as constituents are calling us and complaining about right-of-ways and all of that stuff, I want to be able to say, hey, someone's coming in the next few weeks. And so that's my only request, is that as soon as you all are notified, could you notify the body, hey, a cleanup is going on in this area?
Okay, we can honor that. We usually are informed about the actual area of cleanup through the sheriff's office, through their recommendation, occasionally the marshal's office also, because it's a sentencing issue with accountability court, depending on the amount of offenders that are going to be available that actual Saturday. But as we get that information, we can forward it to let you know if they're within your district.
Okay, thank you so much. Or even to the whole body. That way the body is just aware of it, because sometimes Commissioner Johnson.
Understand. It's such a, it's a level of spontaneity sometimes, just because they can determine that based on the beat or recommendations that have come also with areas that might be also suggested. So as that becomes available, we can give that to you all.
Okay, thank you so much. That was my question.
All right.
Thank you, Commissioner Pulliam. Commissioner Scott, can you turn off Commissioner Lewis's mic, please? And Commissioner Pulliam, Operation City Cleanup, in my opinion, it's a great success. I was told very early on there's no lack of supply of having people wanting to work off community service, but as you can imagine, as hot as it's been, I think some people are electing to perhaps wait till the fall, but we're not going to give them that option. We're going to make sure that people are out cleaning up the city who certainly need to work off community service. Madam Clerk, we got to move back one item, because I understand we got some folks that are here for an item, and we consented it, but
objectors?
We have objectors for item number 4?
Yes, we need to reconsider.
Mr. Mayor, you need a motion to reconsider.
All right.
Second.
Colleagues, can I have a motion to reconsider item number 4, please?
Second.
There's a motion approved by there's a motion by Commissioner Don Clark, seconded by Commissioner Catherine Smith Rice. We need to vote. This is reconsideration for item number 4. Ladies and gentlemen, we appreciate your patience. There we go. Commissioner Garrett, you still on the phone? No. He's gone.
He's gone. Ms. Garrett, he was here. Right, okay. Yes, go ahead.
That motion carries. Let me see who's out. That motion carries with Mr. Garrett out.
Thank you, Madam Clerk. All right, can you read number 4 in?
Item number 4 is a request for concurrence with the Augusta Planning Commission to approve a petition by Carolyn Henry requesting a rezoning from a zone R1, one-family residential, to a zone R1C, one-family residential, to develop a residential subdivision affecting property located at 3626 Richmond Hill Road.
Thank you, Madam Clerk. Commissioner Don Clark.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Colleagues, I appreciate your consideration with this one. So this came through the Planning and Zoning Commission. The recommendation came from the Planning and Zoning Commission about moving forward for approval. We did have some constituents, some neighbors that live in the neighborhood that had some concerns. It was consented earlier, but based on the fact that you all are here and you have some additional concerns that you want to be heard, if I can get a representative after we have the planning representative clarify what happened during the meeting, then one of you all can come forward and express the concerns that you have, okay? Now, I do want to make sure and make mention the petitioner of this, Ms. Carolyn Henry, who is the one who's bringing the proposal, is not here. So again, our recommendation that came from the Planning and Zoning Commission was for approval based on everything that was given and the feedback that you all that did attend that meeting provided, but also with everything that was in consideration from the Planning and Zoning Commission. So let's hear from Planning and Zoning, and then I'll bring up one of the community members.
You got it.
Okay. All right, this is a 4.88 acre parcel The request, as stated, is to go from R1 to R1C. That's still a one-family residential zoning district. The proposed development would create 14 single-family lots with an overall density of 2.9 acres per acre. There would be 2 public streets created and an open space of 19,000 square feet. During the meeting, it was expressed concerns about availability of water and sewer. Of course, that would have to be brought to the site by the developer. But it is consistent with the city's comprehensive plan with regards to single-family development in that portion of the county.
Mr. Kempner, thank you. Commissioner Clark.
Yeah, thank you for that clarity. So Commissioner Scott, Commissioner Lewis, and I jointly participated in a community discussion about this. There definitely was some upset from some of the residents in there. Based on the information that was presented, based on the design proposal from Ms. Henry and otherwise, we saw a benefit more so than a detriment. But again, as always, we want to make sure that folks have their voice in this. Everything that was brought up as far as protected green space, as far as issues with, I believe, sewage and otherwise, those things were disputed through the process that the Planning Commission submitted, and also that our Utilities Department weighed in on as well. So, but I do want you all to have the opportunity to express that. Again, just so everyone understands the process, Planning Commission holds a hearing on this. It gives our community members the opportunity to come forward and submit any disputes, any issues or otherwise that they may have, and also those in support of it, along with the petitioners themselves presenting their plans and trying to get to a point of understanding with trying to build concession of what's going to happen with the development. I do want to clarify. I think you all have heard, because you've been here for a long time waiting, and I appreciate y'all's patience with this. Augusta has a tremendous deficit in housing. This is a housing development that will benefit and not necessarily take away from our area. Now, that is Commissioner Don Clark's opinion on that. I know it may not necessarily fit everything you all feel, and I want to give you all the opportunity to share that. But I do want you all to understand that in this regard, our need is to build housing. This is a housing project that will not, it's not necessarily it's not a low-income housing project at all, but it is a housing project that would benefit the area. So we do have some of our subject matter experts from engineering and from utilities. No, I'm putting you guys on the spot, but if you all have any informed perspective along with planning, please feel the need to do so. But I'm going to bring up, I believe it's Mr. Ussery. And sir, if you could just give your name and address for the record. Mr. Mayor, I apologize, I'm taking your role.
Yes, sir. Please.
But if you like, there you go.
Name and address for the record, please.
Scott Keel, 3404 Wentworth Place. That's in the subdivision in question, Sutton Place. I've just got a few points to start off by the things given. The size of the homes, we were given several different, 1,500 that was presented to the Planning Commission, and 1,700 that was presented in the meeting that y'all attended. And then it was gone on about possibly up to 2,500 with garages and patios, which have nothing to do with living space in a home. Which brings me to smaller lots also. We're mostly concerned about what it might or how it might affect the value of our homes in the area. We're definitely cutting the lots in half. You're going to put more houses right on top of the people that are already on Sutton Place that are backed up to the woods. I know there was discussion of leaving it green space and everything, and I also understand how Richmond County is in dire need for single-family homes. And we don't really have an objection to that. We want to be sure that the homes are at least associated with our size homes. And that's really the one thing we can ask. Sure, we'd like to leave the woods there because we kind of like them.
Sure.
But we understand. Also, the fact that this is phase one. Now, I know Ms. Henry also purchased the other lot that goes all the way over to Peach Orchard Road. We're concerned of the possibility of trying to open Richmond Hill up to Peach Orchard Road, which I would imagine you'd probably have our entire neighborhood in here if you tried to do that. That's just, the traffic's already going to be in question where we believe it's going to be too much. If you did that, it would destroy our neighborhood. We really believe that. But right now, just leaving it at homes that are the size of ours, we can deal with that. We understand that. We need something. But why drop it down to a less, well, from R1 to R1C? It certainly doesn't benefit us, and we feel like it's going to be detrimental to the value of our homes.
Yeah. So, Kevin, if you could come up and let's clarify a couple points. I don't want to belabor this too much longer because we're pretty much doing another planning iteration of this altogether. And I want to leave room for Commissioner Scott as well, if she has some feedback on it. All this was discussed in the meeting. The size of the homes are comparable to you all, and the existing size of lot size as well. She pretty much has exceeded in some areas what some of the existing homes have. You all's homes, I think the majority of them were from the 60s and 70s. So there's some differences in comparing those two. The biggest thing is all of this was addressed during the planning and zoning, but I do want to be fair to make sure that you all get your full understanding of giving your time and your feedback. There's 1, 2, 3, 4 of you all, because I'm assuming a couple of y'all are together, right?
They kind of,
okay.
yeah.
All right. I got it. So I got it. So this is what we're going to do. Send it back.
Ma'am, no outbursts in this body. Thank you.
Yeah. Right. So let's do this. Let's send this one back to the committee again, just so that we can give everyone the opportunity for more clarity. I'd ask if you all make sure and leave your contact info so that we can have another community meeting. Because again, the whole point of us extending out the offer of community meetings is so that we can answer these types of things and give you all a voice in the process. And I want to be fair with that to see it. Might you cut me off? Oh, okay. Can we make a recommendation to send this back to committee, Mr. Mayor?
Motion to move this back to committee.
There's a motion. Is there a second?
Committee.
There's a second is a motion to move it back to committee.
To the planning commission.
To the planning
Commission. To the planning commission.
There's a motion to move it back to planning commission. That's made by Commissioner Wayne Guilfoyle, seconded by Commissioner Catherine Smith Rice. We got some other colleagues in the queue here.
Rice.
Right.
It was Mr. Clark and Ms. Rice.
Yep. Commissioner Scott, is there any context you need? I see Commissioner Guilfoyle first. You need,
Yes, sir.
okay, you have the floor, sir.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. I believe that I've received a couple phone calls, and I was out of town when you had private messaged me about Mr. Scott being your husband, and appreciate you coming before us. But anyway, I think the best thing that we could do, if this last applicant was able to modify, it's going back before the planning and zoning, so the neighborhood would have a chance to speak, because last time it was right after the 4th of July party, 4th of July, and nobody was able to attend because a lot of people was out of town. I heard that loud and clear from a lot of people. So with it going back to the planning and zoning, you'll have 2 bites at this one apple, but I believe to I'm in agreement for any house as long as it complements the area. You will never see me vote no, just like Commissioner Clark. I'm not into apartments, but I am in townhomes, patio homes, and rooftops. And so if we could get back to the drawing board and plan and zoning and say, hey, make it compatible to what we have, and you'll probably find out if you show up in numbers, you'll have the undivided attention of that plan and zoning committee. It's not us. Who the applicant presented was for our people who we appointed to that board. So you check with the plan and zoning, if he'll let you know when the next meeting is going to be, et cetera. Okay?
Right. Commissioner.
Thank you, Mr. McClark.
You got it, Commissioner.
Commissioner Guilford.
Commissioner Scott, you're in the queue, ma'am.
Yeah. May I ask the attorney a question?
Yes, ma'am.
This was approved, right? Now it's coming back, asking it to go back through planning?
The motion was to rescind that prior action, and so it's now in the body of this committee. And so now you're asking to send it to committee for reconsideration.
No, he said the planning commission.
I mean, to the planning commission, I'm sorry.
Yes, ma'am. Reconsideration was requested in that we had some objectors that were in the audience that we were not made aware of until we got late into our meeting. All right, Madam Clerk, there is a motion and a proper second to send this back to the Planning Commission.
Rescind the previous action and to forward this to the planning commission.
Yes, ma'am. Can you repeat that? I'm sorry, your mic.
Okay.
Right. Well, your mic is off now.
To rescind the action of approval for item number 4Z2525 and refer the matter back to the Planning Commission.
That is the motion. It was made by Commissioner Guilfoyle, seconded by Commissioner Catherine Smith Rice. We're prepared to vote. Commissioner Clark, we got to vote, sir. Okay. Thank you. All right. Ladies and gentlemen,
say Don Clark.
Come on, Commissioner Clark. We thank you for your patience in that. This meeting was kind of delayed because it was rescheduled from a meeting. Then we had a lot of items that were not heard because of a lack of a quorum. So we thank you for your patience. We're going to go to 28 now. All right.
That motion carries. Just can you show it? Okay, thanks. That motion carries with Mr. Tony Lewis out, Brandon Garrett out. Thank you.
All right, Madam Clerk, let's move on down. Hopefully number 28 should be fast and easy before we get to, let's move on. 28.
28, okay. Item 28, a motion to approve the extension of service contract with RATP Development.
All right, there's a motion. Is there a second? There is a second.
Guilfoyle.
And Catherine Smith Rice, we have.
Rice, okay, to approve. Okay.
Yep. Director Daughter, is there anything you need to add, any context you need to add regarding this?
No, sir. I'm just here to answer any questions.
Here to answer any questions. All right, there's been a motion to approve and also a second. Madam Clerk, we're ready to vote.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
You're lucky.
Mr. Clark, you got to stay on board, sir.
Come on.
Ms. Scott, okay. Mr. Clark, are you going to vote on this? Okay. Okay, go ahead. That motion carries with Mr. Garrett and Mr. Lewis out.
Thank you, Madam Clerk. Let's keep on moving. Number 37.
Number 37.
Engineering Services.
Item 37 is an update, April 29, 2025, Augusta Commission discussed TIA project Broad Street improvement and requests exploring project construction schedule acceleration by implementing 2 shifts, day and night construction scheduled for business quarter segment.
All right, Commissioner Jordan Johnson, you have the floor, sir.
Mr. Mayor, I request to move this to engineering services end of August.
All right, end of August has been the request. Is there any objection to having this item moved? Commissioner Rice? All right, Madam Clerk, hearing and seeing no objection, this item's moved.
Without objection.
Without objection. Okay. All right, item 38.
Item 38, motion to approve an additional $11,925 for the Augusta Beautification Program agreement with Palmetto Story LLC for work completed in the Wheeler Road corridor.
Thank you so much. Commissioner Pulliam, you request this item be pulled.
Yes, sir, I did. I want to have more discussion on it. I know time is of the essence right now, but in reviewing the contract, or the MOU rather, I'm going to direct some of these questions to Administrator Allen. First of all, I'd like to say thank you so much to Mr. Story and the work that he's done. And I say that just because my colleagues speak very, very highly of everything that he's done to help us out. But in this MOU, in the agreement, there's a few things that I saw regarding the Augusta Beautification Program. Administrator Allen, what is the Augusta Beautification Program?
I'd probably be more appropriate to answer that.
Okay.
So Mr. Barry Story is a great local Augustan who has taken it upon himself to maintain, I think, 5 or 6 of our most important gateways. Some include the roundabout at Sandbar Ferry Road, out at the airport, Wheeler Road, and there's several others. Actually, they're our most beautiful gateways and best maintained gateways throughout the city, and he has done it with his own money. After Hurricane Helene, he reached out and requested that because more than 40 trees were downed as a result of the hurricane, he requested the city pay for half to not only replant the trees, but to redo the sod and to remove the stumps. And originally, this body agreed to help him to remove the stumps and resod, but we did not have money in there to replant trees. He went in and replanted the trees, and he asked for a 50% reimbursement on that, in which this body agreed to do.
Okay. So my question was there a separate MOU for that, or was it the MOU that I was sent regarding Augusta Beautification Program agreement?
Attorney Plunkett.
It's the same MOU. It is to address all of the Wheeler Road and for future years as well. So it allows him, it's a bit like the Adopt Escape or Adopt a Road is a similar idea. So he has the ability to do Wheeler Road and maintain those through this agreement.
Okay. Because there was money involved in this, and we approved, and I think the last one was $11,925. I'm not sure what the total amount that we approved was because I'm not looking at that number. Can someone give me that number?
Yeah, let's.
I think it was like $20,000 to $30-some thousand. Is that correct?
It was. It was the original amount did not include the replanting of the trees. It was to remove the old stumps and to resod and also to repair any irrigation damage. After removing the trees, after removing the stumps, Mr. Story replanted the trees, and he simply asked that we pay half of the cost to replant the trees, and he replaced 41 trees on Wheeler Road. And that was the reason for the addendum item to come back before this body.
Okay. In this MOU, which is why I'm asking these questions, it states to be for the company to hereby agree to be responsible for and commit to bear all cost of any kind related to the design, purchase, installation, implementation, and maintenance of landscape plan. And further up, it talks about the Augusta Beautification Program has been established for private businesses to contribute towards the efforts of maintaining cleaner and more beautiful professionally landscaped roadways. Was this opportunity given to other individuals? Did we follow our procurement process in this if the Augusta Beautification Program states that it's open to any private businesses? Because now there's a transfer of money.
Ms. Pulliam, it's my understanding that Mr. Story, through his company, has maintained Wheeler Road for a number of years. And when this came up in terms of the sod and things of that nature, an MOU was not available. We couldn't find it. Engineering didn't have one. And so we prepared one for that to just document what had been in past. But not knowing when they started the agreement, we just dated as of March, the date that was being signed. But this is a continuation of an existing relationship that has gone on for multiple years. So my assumption is that it was appropriately procured back when they started doing the work on Wheeler Road.
But we don't have that information.
I don't personally. This is something that usually engineering takes care of.
And so the reason I asked, and again, I know we're at the 11th hour, so I'm willing to have this conversation at a later time, because for me, it's very important that we do follow our procurement process. I remember when I first got on this commission and I was asking about corridors and things like that, and could people bid on those corridors? There were some corridors that companies, I know the one in front of First Baptist, I believe, there was a few companies that wanted to bid on that particular corridor, and they were going to be responsible for it. That's why they were able to put their signage. So I think it's very imperative that we have past contracts, because as this MOU is written, it's saying that he or the company is supposed to be responsible. Again, I appreciate all the work Mr. Story has done. I can't say that enough, but that is not what is written in this MOU. And so because money is involved in it, I want to make sure that we are following the proper guidelines and we're giving other companies the opportunity to bid on such projects.
To two different issues, Ms. Pulliam. The first is that I happen to know the one you're referring to in front of First Baptist, because the University of Georgia Alumni Association handled that for a small while, and we could not basically maintain it. And that's an Adopt Escape. It's a little bit different program. It's more for the medians and things of that nature. This issue, I think your reading is correct in the sense that the MOU, that is, when it was started, it was to be, if you want to do this, you're responsible, is kind of the idea. What we have here is a situation where the installation occurred and he maintained it, and then Hurricane Helene happened, and now he is restoring that, and he is asking, rather than to leave it as stumps or just grass, he was asking for this body to participate in the cost. And so I don't think it is inappropriate if this body sees a willingness to partner with Mr. Story or Palmetto Story to redo that location. He certainly did it on the front end by himself.
I'm gonna let this rest, but the verbiage should have been there. And that verbiage that you're stating right now is not in this MOU. And so because there's an exchange of money, did we follow the proper procurement process? That is my question.
Mr. White, Commissioner Pulliam.
Yes, sir.
Mr. Story, outside of Hurricane Helene, has not charged the city anything, and he actually spends hundreds of thousands of dollars a year to maintain these right-of-ways. The only reason he asked for money in that, he felt the city should at least pay for half to at least restore that gateway to its, I guess, its original beauty. He hasn't asked us for a dime to help at the airport, nor Alexander Drive, nor Sandbar Ferry Road. Mm-hmm. He does that out of his own goodwill.
And Mr. Mayor Johnson, I am totally appreciative. I'm saying, are we covered? That is my question. It's not against Mr. Story. This could have been Mr. Story. This could have been Jake's Landscaping. This could have been anyone. I'm saying, did we follow the proper protocol, and does this MOU cover us? That's what my question is. It's not an attack on Mr. Story. Honestly and truthfully, I don't know what Mr. Story looks like. So if he came in here right now, I'm being honest, I don't know him, and I'm sure he's done great work. Does this MOU cover us from a procurement standpoint? That is my only question. And we can have this discussion later, that's not a problem, but I just want to make sure we are covered. That's it.
Thank you, Commissioner Pugin.
Yes, sir.
I think you're fine to pay for half the cost of the trees that are on a city property.
Okay, all right. We got a few colleagues in the queue. Commissioner Rice.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. I'm getting ready to head on out of here. I'm going to say this. If we didn't have Barry Story doing some of the work that he's done, we would have our and I'm sorry, I'm going to say what I got to say, but if we didn't have someone like Barry Story or a few others, I know that over there by First Baptist Church, I believe Maybaum Construction handles a little fort
You got
over
Kendrick
there.
Paint and Body on Broad.
But if we didn't have them, I hate to tell you, some of the businesses, our city could look even worse than it already does right now. So we need to be appreciative, and we're talking about $11,000 here that a man who, when we had a hurricane, I rode down that corridor of Wheeler Road, barely could get down there, but he has brought that place back, and it looks good. You come off I-20 and you head on to Wheeler Road. We don't want people riding into freaking Augusta, Georgia, riding in to look at still stumps on the ground. He's worked his fanny off, and so do some other people, to make this town look good, and we ought to be appreciative. $11,000, I'm going to make a motion to approve right now.
There's a second. There's a motion by Commissioner Catherine Smith Rice, second by Commissioner Wayne Guilfoyle. Commissioner Pulliam, you still in the queue? Are you ready?
Yes, sir.
Vote? All right.
Yes, sir.
Okay.
I'm still in the queue.
Okay.
And I want to, again, reiterate what I said. I am very, very appreciative, but I also have to make sure that I feel like it's my responsibility, as it is to all of us. We talk about processes and procedures all the time, and I don't mean to frustrate anyone. However, it is more than $11,000. The total was close to $30,000. Are we following the proper protocol? Mr. Story, I appreciate him. Commissioner Rice, I really do, but I want to make sure that we are covered as a body in our procurement processes. That is what is important.
If we keep doing this, he might say he doesn't want to do anything for Augusta, so I suggest we go ahead and vote.
We'll do something else. Bye.
That's.
You don't want to say goodbye
follow the
to
rules. We want to follow the rules.
All right, let's. All right,
I just said
all right. Come on, it's been a long day. Madam Clerk, we have a motion, we have a second. Let's vote.
I did.
Look, wait a second. I need you to stay 1 second to ask that your item, your board item, be removed. Okay.
The motion carries 6-1, with Mr. Jordan Johnson voting no and Ms. Pulliam abstaining.
All right. Thank you, Madam Clerk. Let's keep on moving. We got a little bit more work to do. Item 41, Commissioner, item 41, Madam Clerk, read it in for the record, please.
Item 41 is to consider a request for appointment from the attached list from Mr. Sanford Lord, Chairman of the Richmond County Hospital Authority.
Thank you so much. Commissioner Rice, you mentioned that you wanted to. I'm going to let you have the floor. Commissioner Guilfoyle, I'll come back to you in a second. Commissioner Rice.
Yes, I'm on this board, and the four names that Mr. Sanford, who is chairman, as you see, on the hospital board, I attend just about every meeting. I did not get to vote on it, but I was there, and the four names that are listed on there was picked unanimously by the board, and unfortunately, we had to list the other names of everybody else, which are kind of, you know, you hate to do that, but the four names is what Mr. Sanford Lloyd suggested and the board. So I'd like to vote for the four or see if my colleagues will vote so that we can get this matter taken care of.
Thank you so much, Commissioner Rice. Can you make that in the form of a motion, please?
Yeah, motion to approve the four, yes, ma'am.
For clarification,
The names?
Commissioner Rice, yeah, we need the names.
Okay.
Because you said four, which four?
Yes, ma'am.
Commissioner Rice, it'll be Joan Steinberg,
That's
Dr.
right.
Mary Ann Atkins, Virginia Patterson, and Dr. Don Lobel.
That's correct.
His name is Dr. Don Label. Label.
Southern.
So those are the four names. There's been a motion. Is there a second? Second by Commissioner Wayne Guilfoyle. Madam Clerk, we're voting.
Thank you.
All right, colleagues, a couple more here.
That motion carries.
Thank you.
Thank you so much. All right, Madam Clerk, I think that takes us to,
Mr. Garrett, Mr. Lewis out.
that takes us to these addendum items. Let's go with addendum item number 2.
Item number 2, an update from Augusta Utilities Department on the Highland Water Treatment Plant.
Thank you so much. All right, Mr. Bynes, you have the floor, sir.
Good afternoon again. I'm going to be brief. This is an update on the structural condition of the old filter building. I have two of the engineers that have looked at it and here with me in case there's any questions or if you want more extensive detail. Over the past several years, we've had issues where some of the concrete pops off the inside of the building, off the ceiling tiles, and it's been reviewed and looked at in the past. Apparently we had a report done that was lost. I had another set of engineers look at it through our Dura to say what could be done to remediate that. And they came back and said, actually, there's some structural condition issues on the western wall. This is the old filter building on Highland Avenue, the original plant from 1939, 46, and 53. The western wall, which is the one on the backside you can't see, has had some corrosion at the base of the steel beams that hold it up. And so as a result, it needs to be shored up. Which means it'll have some bracing put in it while we do full remediation of the building. We employed, we got the structural report that came back on it. I engaged a contractor this week. They come out and looked at it. They do this type of structural bracing. We met with them this morning with the engineer and the contractor. They're going to go ahead and put those in place and begin the process of, once that's done, the building is stable. And we will then go through a more comprehensive bid process to do complete repair and replacement of the components that need to be replaced. Estimated value on that is somewhere between $2 and $5 million, depending on how much we actually repair. And so, again, just bringing that to your attention. As of today, there's no real action that's needed just to receive this information. I just wanted to make sure the commission was fully informed as we go forward with that repair and you see trucks and construction going on at that building.
Thank you, Director Bynes. Commissioner Clark from the 5th.
Madam Administrator, can you give your recommendation with this as well? You all have any issues on your side with this?
Not at this time, we don't, sir.
All right, thank you. Now, I talked to Mr. Mayor, one question for Director Bynes.
Yes, sir.
I talked to Director Bynes about this, appreciate the information and the clarity on this as well. And also in addition to, can you just clarify what you had clarified with me through the discussion about the maintenance plan going forward?
Yeah, so we've got a maintenance plan on the building itself and the facility itself as to what components need to be replaced. It's an operating water plant, so things are constantly in a state of needing to be updated, repaired, maintained. We do that. I have a list of items that are going forward. I think one of the questions is, how did I not know this? And so it's a good question. It's something that I was not aware of. I've engaged the engineer to actually do a complete walkthrough of the remaining parts of the facility. This part of the building was not upgraded during the 2008-2012 enhancements or upgrades to the plant. And it was last touched in 2016 when the roof was, got a new membrane roof on top. But I will bring that back in about a month with a comprehensive list of things that will be going on at the plants so that y'all have a better feel for what capital projects will be forthcoming.
Thanks, Director Bynes. Thank you, Mr. Mayor.
All right, thank you, Director Bynes. Colleagues, this has been received as information. Is there any objection to receiving it? Hearing and seeing none, Madam Clerk is received without objection. Let's go to item number 3 on the addendum agenda.
Item 3, have Administrator's Office research and have the appropriate department apply for CDBG disaster relief funding.
Thank you so much, Madam Administrator. Well, I'm sorry, Commissioner Pulliam.
Thank you so much, Mayor Johnson. This was at my request. No, you're fine, sir. At our recent NACO conference where I took lots and lots of notes, one of the committees that I sit on, which is the Workforce Development Committee, CDBG disaster relief funding was brought up, and I learned that it was to the tune of $275 million that was allocated to the state of Georgia for that disaster relief, but Augusta did not apply for any of those funds. I do know that CDBG works a little bit different in our government because we get direct allocations, but I wanted to know, did we pass up the opportunity to apply, or is that something we're in the process of and it just hasn't shown up yet?
So as far as we know, the CDBG, the Community Development Block Grant funding for disaster recovery, the state is actually going to manage those respectful funds. Initially, the state, it was not determined how they were going to distribute those funds. As we have been informed, the state is going to manage anything that's dealing with the respective housing. When they determine they'll open it up, then we will get to apply for those funds.
Okay, so it is on our radar, and
yes,
we will
ma'am.
be
Yes, ma'am. In partnership with Tetra Tech, who is our third party who's been working with us, anytime any funding becomes available, we're definitely made sure that we're made aware of it.
Okay, awesome. So you'll keep us informed of that, and you'll come back with an update as soon as that application is open and we've applied for it.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, thank you very much. Thank you.
And Commissioner Pulliam is speaking with Christopher Nunn, who's the Commissioner for the Department of Community Affairs. He mentioned during GMA that they're in the process of building out a platform to start that application process. So that is coming soon. All right. Madam Clerk, we got one more item. I've been asked to move back to item number 36.
Item 36, request the Board of Elections Director Travis Doss to clarify the process. The Augusta-Richmond County Commission follows to fill a vacancy.
Thank you so much, Attorney Plunkett.
Mr. Mayor, in connection with this, I've distributed a proposed resolution to call for the election and just need a motion to approve the resolution so that it can be signed and sent to the Board of Elections.
Thank you so much, colleagues. All of you have a copy of the resolutions. Can I receive a motion, please?
Motion approved. Second.
There's a motion by Commissioner Mayor Pro Tempore Wayne Guilfoyle, seconded by Commissioner Don Clark. Madam Clerk, see no colleagues in the queue. Ready to vote?
Reconsideration and approval of the resolution. Who I'm looking at? 4-3. Ms. Rice going. Go ahead. That motion carries.
Thank you, Madam.
Mr. Lewis, Mr. Garrett, and Ms. Rice out.
Thank you, Madam Clerk. Attorney Plunkett.
Mr. Mayor, I know it's late hour, but we have two very short personnel matters, and we'd ask for a motion to go into legal session to discuss personnel matters.
Can I have a motion, please? Need a motion, colleagues. There's a motion. Is there a second? Short.
Second.
There's a second by Commissioner Scott. Madam Clerk, we're voting. I'm sorry, Commissioner Pulliam. I heard at the left ear.
That motion carries.
Thank you, Madam
Ms.
Clerk.
Rice, Mr. Garrett, and Mr. Lewis out.
Thank you, Madam Clerk. Ladies and gentlemen, this will probably be a short legal session. I can't thank you enough for your patience in being here today. This meeting was prolonged because it was delayed because of scheduling conflicts, and then we had some committees that were not able to be heard during the regular committee cycle. So appreciate your patience.
Get the mayor's sign. Okay, we're gonna need to go in 91. That's where the recorder is. 291. Yeah, that's where the recorder is.